All right. Well, look, see, first show back, fellas, and I'm having some technical difficulties. But what's up, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Three the Hard Way. We know we ain't seen y'all people in a long time. It's been about a month. But the Bears is back, so the boys is back. We got a lot to get into today. DJ Moore signed a massive contract. Caleb Williams in the Chicago Bears training camp progress up until this point. And we had some live football on Thursday to discuss. All that and more right after this.
You seem to focus on what they didn't have. I
Oh,
focused on what they. No, you said four was not enough.
it
So
was
you
not
focused
enough.
on what they did not have.
Okay, let's stop with the antics and let's talk about football now. Okay.
And then on top of that, I'm gonna tell y'all who we gonna take and why we gonna
Okay.
take.
All right.
We're taking a wide receiver, fellas. Let me tell you about Mr. Rome Adumze.
Rome Odunze. Y'all know how it goes. So look, hey, welcome back, fellas. We back.
Welcome
I
back.
got Devin to the right of me, my guy West to the below him, and then we got a new co-host that's gonna be joining us on the Black Bear podcast. Al City's very own. Look, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, the Black Bear podcast. One word, no spaces. Right at the top of the show, we're gonna jump right into DJ Moore signing that massive contract. And y'all know how it go. I'll set it up and then I gotta share this around and get some viewers in here to watch us speak on it. But DJ Moore signed a massive contract. What was it? 4-year
Huh.
extension. Go ahead, Wes.
4 years, 110 million, 82 million guaranteed.
82 million guaranteed. That set him up for 27.5 annually. He was due before the extension. He was due for the 2024 and 2025 season. He was due 16 million a year. And he had this is what DJ Moore basically had to say because he had 2 years left. Usually they get back to the table on that one with that 1 year left, but he had two. He felt the need to get back to the table and negotiate the contract. This is what he had to say on that.
I don't know. I wasn't really in that mindset to go to the top. So I was just like, all right, what's a good number, and let's go from there.
Why did you want to get it done now with 2 years left on your old deal?
I felt like I outplayed that one due to the fact that the money that was for this year was kind of low, and then just the play that I had last year, and it proved that I'm worthy of 15 plus that was on the table at the time.
1 year with the Chicago Bears. We saw what he was able to do with Justin Fields. He had 1,300 yards, roughly, a little bit more than that last season. We saw what he was able to do with 1 year with Justin Fields. Do y'all think it was fair to get back to the table this early and get an extension? Anybody could take that. I'm gonna share the live around and do y'all think that was fair for him to get back to the table this early? Not only that, before I hand this off, I want to add this is the biggest contract the Bears have ever given out. This is the biggest contract. Khalil Mack was a 141 6-year 23.5. This is a 27.5. And then another massive contract we gave out, Jay Cutler. Al, yo boy. We gave that man 126 million over 7 years, 18.1 annually, and we know DJ Moore just got 27.5 annually. Was it fair after one season to get back to the table this early? Somebody take it away.
I kind of like the idea of getting back to it. Like, I like the idea from the Bears' perspective of going into it because we all see the shift in the way that the money is going for the NFL is that contracts are getting bigger and bigger.
Mhm.
And so getting DJ Moore before the wide receiver market really breaks out. Like we had Jordan Love a week ago or so. He signed the biggest contract ever for a quarterback. And So, I mean, I don't think that means he's the best out there, but he happened to get it at the right time where he is the largest contract for a quarterback and he reset the market. So I like that we went out there and we were like, okay, after the year that we saw from DJ and probably looking back at his previous years, we looked at it as this guy could be a staple going forward. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just kind of lock him up for the next 6 years, basically. So I personally think it was a great idea. We get him before the market really resets without him resetting the market. Like he could have gone out there and said, like, hey, I need to be the top paid wide receiver out there
Exactly.
right
Exactly.
now. And I like that he didn't do that and he just signed himself to an extension and made it so that I mean, yeah, it's a big contract, but within the next 2-3 years, it could seem like the smartest contract in the world if we have the contract really jump up, you know?
And and just want to touch on something that he could have tried to reset that market, that wide receiver market. And in the beginning of that clip, he said I wasn't really in the business of trying to be the top guy. I think this contract makes him the fifth highest paid wide receiver annual on annual value. You got a few guys like Tyreek Hill and in front of him, and Debo Samuel's in front of him,
Justin
and
Jefferson.
Cooper Cup, Jay Jettis. Jay Jettis signed his contract. They gave him his deal.
I thought they gave him his contract about a month ago.
Okay. All right.
Thought it was a
Fellas,
pretty big one though.
Wes, Al, thoughts on DJ Moore getting this contract extension with 2 years left on his original deal?
Well, I think it was a good move. I think it shows what type of GM we got. Got to give Poles his credit for being able to understand what we need as a team and to be able to lock him down. I think his character played a lot to do with that too.
Yes.
They rebuilding the character in the locker room. His previous team he played for, success, durability. He's not a guy that's be injured a lot, so that's a good thing. They was able to get him at a price that, like Devin said, might not be the price in a couple of years. So that goes to our front office. That let us know as Bear fans, we look like we might be in good hands in the front office to be able to recognize when we need to lock things up. You know, so that's a great thing as a Bear fan because we had times where we didn't feel like we had the best front office that was able to lock players that deservingly was supposed to stay here.
Yes, sir. We was just talking about that before we went on air. We was literally just talking about the off seasons we've lived through as Bears fans, where it felt like there was no direction. We weren't making moves, and if we were making moves, the moves were just like head scratchers. So, Wes, you want to chime in on DJ Moore getting that contract? So, with 2 years left.
Of course I do. No, I'm just playing. It's overall, man. I mean, we all know DJ Moore. Like we talked before we got on the air, and you can see what kind of guy he is and what he has and what he's seen in this Bears organization. You can tell that he's really close knitted and in the loop of what, like I was saying, what the general manager doing, what the coaches want, what he think the future of the Bears is going to be, and it's that what we talked about, earlier this summer was that culture, that winning culture that we want to bring in. We want to bring in that winning culture. Like, yeah, you see a lot of players out there resetting the market, but none of them play for the Chiefs. You see what I'm saying? Like, none of them play for the Bills. The people who's up there, who's knocking on the door to win the Super Bowl, none of their players is resetting the markets or anything like that. And that as a testament to what we want to do in the future. And Ivan, word had came out as soon as DJ signed his contract, he went straight to Keenan Allen. Like, okay, let's figure out what your number is, because we need to keep you for another 2 or 3 years, because we headed in the right direction, and it shows with the back office, with the coaching staff, for better or worse, and that definitely with the players and what's going on in the locker room. It's like, hey, look, we want to win. We want to win together with who we have now. and we think we have something. So I think that is a big deal with what DJ Moore was saying. He was like, I wasn't looking to be the highest paid. Because
Right. Yeah, he said
in
that.
a couple years, yeah, you win a Super Bowl, Sprite will be calling him. He'll be getting, a DJ Moore ruffle bag on chips, and he gonna get his money eventually. So I think it was smart on both ends, and it was very humbling and kind, and I appreciate that DJ Moore kind of came out with that kind of mindset.
So, and I'm glad y'all mentioned that the poll side of it. You know what I mean? This is to praise DJ Moore and his deserving contract, but polls. This is a smart move, like you said. Yes, look, yesterday's price ain't today's price, and if you wait long, and I think he waited longer than he should have in that Jalen Johnson deal. They tried to get a deal done, but he waited, and Jalen Johnson went into those negotiations saying, "I'm not trying to be the highest paid cornerback." But by the end of that goddamn season, guess what? He was ready to be. He's seen his play, and he let
He
his
was
play speak
feeling it.
for himself. Exactly.
Mhm.
So I think Ryan Poles got in front of this one and made sure that wallet, that this
That
contract
lesson,
didn't affect. You
he
say
learned
what?
that lesson. He learned
Yeah,
his
he learned
lesson
his lesson exactly.
quick.
Well, see,
Uh,
I really like that with people is when you do something and you're like, okay, I maybe waited too long on that, and then you can know that like you go in and you correct it for the next time around. Like you learn from your lesson, you learn your lessons, you learn from mistakes, stuff like that. Like that shows growth as a general manager as well. Like
right.
being able to notice when you make a mistake. I appreciate having somebody that can recognize that in themselves.
Yeah. And the relationship he has with the quarterback too. You look at some of the interviews that's been going on. He's been very He's been endorsing Caleb a lot. He's been behind him, and you could tell the vibe that it's a lot different than previous quarterbacks
Right.
endorsements. So you can just tell like the relationship with him and his teammates is real big right now. So that's a plus for us as
He
fans.
seems like the guy that run through a brick wall for any one of those teammates he has.
Exactly. Exactly.
Last year, his support for Justin Fields was
Yep, I was just about to bring that up. Yep.
very high, and I thought for sure that there was going to be a little bit of a kind of a disconnect when it came to Caleb Williams this year, but he has been all for Caleb Williams too, and it doesn't come off as like somebody who's just kind of like saying the right things. It's that he genuinely builds connections with the people that he works with. And I just see that as like a positive aspect in your locker room.
Right.
Um,
And I look at DJ, every quarterback he's played for, he's been reliable to them. He's like a quarterback's best friend. I know like they like to say the tight end is, but DJ Moore at the wide receiver position is like Sam Darnold, PJ Walker, Teddy Bridgewater. I'm gonna say Justin Fields too, just to throw him in there. But it's you get what I'm like. He's produced for those dudes without without them being elite quarterbacks. Let's just say elite because
That's
Justin.
fair.
I
I
think
mean, he still
Justin.
praises Justin. He just said it in the interview. He was like, Justin is still my dude. I hope he, wins over that. He's still my dude. But Caleb is my dude times two because he is my quarterback right now. So
Yep.
it's not like y'all finna sit here and make me, and that's like I said, that's why I talked about his character and how humble he is. And I'm finna sit here and make me pick which one. That's not how human relationships work.
Mm-mm.
Justin's still my guy. Like he's still my dude. But don't get me wrong, Caleb is my dude too, and he's gonna be throwing me the ball, so he's my dude times two.
Times
That's just
fucking
facts,
two. Yes.
and
Yes.
that's his words. And I'm like, as still a Justin Fields supporter myself, I'm like, good. That was good. That's what and it's genuine, and you can tell it's authentic and genuine. So, I mean, like I said, you can't beat a coworker or a player or somebody like DJ Moore, on your team or in your organization.
Telly, what they say? Telly tell. Look, Caleb is the future. We haven't seen you in the chat. Appreciate you jumping in the chat, Telly tell.
Welcome.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you watching on Facebook, head over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Support the channel, the Black Bear Podcast. One word, no spaces. With my guys, and we about to, we about to cook today because there's a lot of Bears news. We here to get y'all Bears fix. And so we all lived through that 0-4 start. It was 0-4, right? Correct? With the Bears last season, 0-4.
No,
We heard.
Did we win the first game? The rain game? Was that the first game last season?
No,
No, that was
the season before.
last. Yeah,
Okay.
that was last.
Oh, the
no,
rain.
we started pretty rough last year. Last year we started
Hold
against Green Bay.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, we did start against Green Bay.
Hold on. This broski man, dude. Let's address him real quick. Says, why are y'all still talking about Fields? LOL, you guys are still hurt about trading Fields. Well, look, if you follow the podcast, which I'm happy you're here, it's a couple of us who are, probably still a little slightly hurt about it. But there's a couple of us that aren't. All in all, every single one of us are on the Caleb Williams train. Like, that is our quarterback, and that's where we're going. But just because Justin Fields is no longer here, there's no ill will towards him.
Yeah,
None.
no hurt.
I mean, you can criticize him and what's up, Wes?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it ain't no hurt, but that's what everybody's talking about. This is the narrative.
I mean,
this is
the reason we were talking about him wasn't because we still want to talk about him. It was because DJ Moore brought him up.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. That's all.
Because it's still a top talking point.
Keep up, broski.
Hey, keep up. But hey, look, we got a lot more. So if that's how you coming in the chat, keep coming like that, because we're gonna address every chat you pop up there. We're gonna interact with all the fans as much as we can. So but look, like I was saying, we was 0-4 to start the season. We all know how Justin Fields, even though some people don't think we should keep talking about him, but we're going to. We know how he threw the coaches under the bus, or the coach threw him under the bus, whatever. DJ Moore did not have any drama in that whole span. You know what I mean? There wasn't any sign that his confidence in the team was wavering. There was none of that. Like, he stayed cool throughout the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Even the first 4 games, y'all remember, he wasn't even getting targeted. He was not complaining.
I do remember one time he was mic'd up during a game, or somebody else was mic'd up, the defender guarding him, and they did, like, the defender said something about, like, them not utilizing their best weapon being DJ, and DJ saying something like, I know. Like, that was the only one time that I ever felt like it showed a little wavering of confidence. And that may have just been like a bit of a frustration, because I was frustrated as a fan that they weren't throwing him the ball. They went out there and got this new wide receiver, and they couldn't throw him the ball.
Go ahead, talk. Go ahead, fellas.
Man, go ahead, Wes.
It wasn't no frustration. It was just a fact. It's like saying that the sun rises in the east and set in the west. Like, it's obvious we're not using him. We went and got him. We knew what he was capable of, and we did absolutely nothing with him for an entire month. And everybody in the NFL and everybody in the league, including that defender, noticed it. And DJ said, "Yeah, I know." He didn't say, he wasn't like what's the dude from the Raiders? That was mic'd up. Devontae. Oh man,
killed out here.
Yeah, like, I'm, all this other kind of stuff. Like, just throw me the ball, man. He didn't slam his helmet down. You didn't see him. So I don't say it was frustration. It was just a fact, and we all knew it.
It's like, when look, I'm sure all these players say a lot of stuff to their homies, to their family, to their wife when they land in bed. Like, God damn, they not blocking for me. Or a coach calling some bull. They're human. They got to vent at some point. But I'm saying, like, publicly throwing the team under the bus, the coaches, Justin Fields, the O-line, he did none of that. He was a stand-up guy. If I'm going to criticize him for one thing, it wasn't even in the Bears jersey. Y'all remember the walk-off touchdown he had in Carolina, and he took his helmet off, and they got the penalty, and they missed the kick because of the penalty, and then they lost that game. Yeah, that's exactly, the unsportsmanlike conduct. That's the only thing, and that's like, shit, you just got a game-winning touchdown. Your emotions running high. Al, you wanted to say something in there.
I did, but I don't want to shift it to that right now. I was going to say that we didn't. He said he didn't just. DJ Moore was mad because he wasn't getting the ball, but I mean, it was times where he was open and he wasn't getting the ball. So I'm not trying to slander my man Fields, but there was a lot of times that DJ Moore was available to get the ball, but Fields wasn't reading or getting him the ball. So it wasn't all DJ Moore fault. It was a lot to do on the reason why we traded our quarterback. I'm just being a realist as a Bear fan. I love Justin Fields when he was here. I supported him to the fullest.
Right.
But he.
But see, and to your point, Al, look, you got a point, but it further that comment that statement you just made, it helps the point that even he was open and his quarterback wasn't seeing him, and guess what he did? He rolled for Justin to the end. And that same man that he was riding for, missing him on wide open, touchdowns or whatever the fuck you want to call it, 10-yard out routes or whatever. And he stayed solid through the end. You know what I mean?
Solid. Yeah.
So
contract well deserving. Well deserving contract. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look, it says something when you get paid more than Khalil Mack and Jay Cutler. No matter how you feel about Jay Cutler, Jay Cutler was Jay Cutler, and this contract succeeds him. It's more than Jay Cutler got. It's more than Khalil Mack got. That says a lot for him as a Bear. It says a lot of Ryan Poles. He locked up Cole Kmet. He's locking up these dudes for the long haul. DJ Moore will be here if everything works out how Bears fans think. DJ Moore will be here when Caleb Williams signs his next contract. He will be here. You know what I mean? So I know we talk about Rome Odunze and Caleb Williams growing together as rookies through the Bears system. DJ Moore will be right there with him.
Absolutely.
So more power to him. But Wes, you touched on the Keenan Allen thing, and he spoke on Keenan Allen, and because we all know Keenan Allen's on a 1 year, 20-something million this year?
I think it was like 23, 26, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he spoke on him getting that deal done. And before I play the clip on him speaking on that, I want to get this comment out. John said, DJ Moore highlight tape at Maryland is a nice watch. Best wide receiver in the Big Ten, led Big Ten wide receivers and missed tackles. DJ Moore has that Big Ten work ethic. And we all know we all are in the Midwest. West, you've moved, but we in the Midwest, so we know what that Big Ten conference look like. Everybody like to talk about the SEC. We know your LSU guys. But Big Ten, Ohio State, Buckeyes, Wisconsin, Penn State. Y'all know. Yeah, look. DJ Moore.
Iowa.
Hey, don't forget Michigan, the national champions.
Michigan, the champions. So we know what that Big Ten conference look like. But like I said, DJ Moore spoke on Keenan Allen being basically in contract negotiations with the Bears as well. This is what he had to say.
Mentioned that a lot of members of this offense are signed up for a long time. One notable member who's not as Keenan, who said he was going to kind of wait to see how the season goes and how it plays out. Are you going to try to maybe convince him as the season goes along to stick around?
I already did that now. I did that yesterday. I was like, man, listen, what's your number? Let's get it done. And, I mean, I'm going to leave his number out of it, but I think we could get it done. So it should be interesting.
No, to know that the
Yeah, so DJ Moore is lobbying, apparently. I don't know how much y'all believe it, but DJ Moore is lobbying to get Keenan Allen locked into a long-term deal too. He said he ain't gonna tell us what his number is, but locking up. So how do y'all fellas feel about Keenan Allen being with the team long-term? I know some people are okay with this being just a one year thing and then letting Rome Odunze take over his position and then we go from there. Because I mean, can you really pay 3 wide receivers when the time comes? I mean, what's y'all fellas take on that?
Say go DJ, cause that's my DJ. Say go DJ, cause that's my DJ.
Surprise y'all with that because hey, that not the dopest contract signing pick you
Say
ever
go DJ, 'cause that's my DJ. Say go DJ, 'cause that's my DJ.
a man off practice to come sign that contract? But no, for on a serious note though, thoughts on Keenan Allen being here long term?
I
I'll
don't
go
see.
first.
Okay, go ahead, Wes. My bad.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't think it hurts at all. It gives that same kind of feel of what they do with quarterbacks. Kind of, I mean, I don't like to talk about them, but that dude up in Green Bay, giving some time to sit back and learn, giving the Doomsday time to sit back and learn and watch and grow instead of just throwing them out there. Also, Tyler Scott, giving those guys somebody to look up to, somebody to watch, somebody other than the coach to still coach them on how to do it. And this is somebody who's been doing that at a high level for a very long time. And at the end of the day, it's not like he's gonna be here forever. He's he's on his last leg. He in his fourth quarter of his career. So
Yes.
having him for that last little portion of his career to kind of be that guy, I think it is a good deal. I mean, like I said, depends on the number. Like I'm not saying, go give him $57 million a year, nothing crazy. But if the number's right and we can work it in, it's insurance, it's Allstate. We in good hands, it's a good thing. If we don't, well, we still got, other people that can move in and still, I believe, be productive. They just don't have the resume just yet. So that's just my take on keeping Keenan Allen.
Well, me seeing that the Bears need some help on offensive line, I wouldn't see that they would be able to fit the bill for Keenan Allen. I know he's he's Mr. Reliable. He catch everything. He's still 31 years old. I think that they can get away with not re-signing him if they put their resources into the offensive line while grooming Odunajay in the process. So me personally, I would think that don't resign Mr. Allen, don't resign him, put those resources into the offensive line, and then move Odunajay into that role maybe next year or the year after, whatever. So that's my take on it. I feel like we could still be a Super Bowl contending team without Allen. As long as you got DJ and you still got the other pieces in play, I would build the trenches up and spend that money on that area.
So before you go, Devin, I just want to give him a question. So do you think if the Keenan Allen thing fall through, you just think it's because of his number too high? Keenan Allen, you think his number would be too high? You don't think there's nothing friendly coming from his you know what I mean? His camp, no friendly deals or none of that. Because if we don't resign him, yeah, his number will be too high. That's the only thing I can see. You know what I mean?
I think he want to get paid. I mean, he got
Right.
The other guy, DJ Moore, got paid before he did, and DJ Moore is not even on his final leg of his contract. So Keenan Allen want to get paid. He's 31. He feel like he's still worth it. He do put up numbers. He do produce. So, but at the same time, what is he worth to the Chicago Bears moving forward? What do polls think about polls? If you look at polls, he don't really pay old players. He like to stay young. He don't really have a lot of old 30 players. So
let's see what he do once his players that he bring in get old. Let's see how he deal with that. He hasn't had to deal with that yet. He is not, but right now he just cleaned house, bringing in young talent. Let's see what he does once they get to that veteran status. Devin, go ahead. I know we kept you out the loop for a little bit. Go ahead.
So my thought process with Keenan is if they get to that point where signing him to an extension doesn't necessarily need to be like long term. It doesn't need to be like 3-4 years extension. Like we could do a 2-3 year extension, and I would think that would give us a lot of room to work with, keeping him around kind of. And that, I mean, chances are that would be his last contract that he has. Like he's towards the end of his career, but like there are players that play into the late 30s, but not as many of them. So, but just he seems like a guy that like I don't see there being a whole lot of friendliness coming from his camp. unless we start clicking and winning. Like if we get about halfway through the season and we're 5-1, and the 5 games that we won, we were pretty dominant offensively and defensively. And then the one game we lost was close and it was just a nail biter to the end. Like if that's the type of season we're having, he
Right.
may be leaning towards maybe a cheaper contract to kind of like, because he doesn't have a Super Bowl yet. And I'm pretty sure that also, I mean, he's gotten paid money throughout his whole
Yes.
career.
Yep.
So this could be that one thing that he wants to get on his resume of getting that Super Bowl ring, and kind of like if he sees that he's on the ground floor basically of a Super Bowl team and he starts to see the pieces come together
Mm-hmm.
and expects that there's a chance that during his playing career he could
Right.
potentially still be a part of that, like that could be something that might convince him. I'm not sure if it would or not. I don't really know what he's thinking about and stuff like that, but like we've seen players take less to be able to get Super Bowls and to get rings and stuff like that. Like it's not unheard of. So if we don't get a extension during the preseason or off season or whatever, if we don't before the season starts, which I believe neither side was really ready to like sit down and try and work something out early, my guess is they start to try and like focus on it halfway through the year. And if something seems to be clicking well, then it could change how the talks go and negotiations go.
True.
Before we go forward, I just want to if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, the Black Bear Podcast. It's a lot of y'all in here that I haven't seen in here before in the chat. Keep those chats coming. We're gonna try to speak on those chats live on air, but if not, they will most definitely get posted and read by one of us. And if somebody want to stop the flow and address a comment, that will happen. So just keep the comments flowing. Bear Truth, hey, I didn't give you a shout out when you first commented, Bear Truth, but appreciate you jumping back in because we've been gone for a while and you back, right? Like you never left. So appreciate that. Another before we wrap up the DJ Moore contract talk, another question he was presented with was his feelings on being traded to the Chicago Bears in the first place. He got a 6-year deal or a 4-year extension. He'll be with us for the next 6 years. He felt comfortable enough to speak his true mind on being traded here, and this is what he had to say.
We're obviously a little bit skeptical when you got here. That's what I'm assuming, based on you saying that we don't want to know what you thought. Yeah, I understand. At what point did that start to change?
When I got here, and I was like, "Yeah, it's no going back." When I first, I gave you my reaction. I don't care. when I first got the car, I was like, "Oh." But then I was just like, new beginnings, new everything. So I just took it on with a head full of steam with my family, and we was all just bought in. Once we got here, it was no looking back. Like, we here now, like, for the long haul, for real.
Was the off part?
Dude, DJ Moore vibe. He cool as hell. He keep it a buck every time he speak. But y'all heard it, and we talked about this in the green room before we came live, fellas. I told y'all I didn't think Caleb necessarily wanted to be a Bear. Like Colin Cowherd came out and said he didn't think. He remember he dropped that report. Caleb doesn't want to be. I believed it because why would he at the time and in the situation we were in? Why would he? A lot of Bears fans didn't like that and they thought, that was BS. But you hear DJ Moore when he heard about the trade, he was like, "Fuck." Now DJ Moore was he just built a new house in Carolina. He his family was finally moving into it and everything, and then he got a trade. So that played a big role into him saying, "Oh shit," when he got traded here. But I'm sure it not just that he did not want to come to the Chicago because he heard what's his name, Mushim Muhammad. He heard the comments. Chicago is where receivers come to die. He knows, and he mentioned that in his press conference. We don't got the audio, but he mentioned that. Thoughts on DJ Moore initially not wanting to be a Bear, and do y'all think that is the initial thought by most free agents when they look at the Bears or have a meeting with the Bears front office?
Wow.
What y'all thinking on that?
That's kind of like surprising, man. That the receivers have always done well in Chicago. The quarterbacks may have not been so good, but the receivers, like I heard Brandon Marshall saying some of the same stuff. He was kind of slandering Cutler and different stuff like that. But you was a Pro Bowler in Chicago. Like I don't understand. Like the receivers is usually does well in Chicago. So maybe it just the huh?
Who?
I mean, Cutler, Alshon Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall. Those receivers have done well. They done well in Chicago. They didn't do bad in Chicago. They was able to go get other contracts at other places.
Facts.
I mean, what receivers have not produced under 1,000 yards in Chicago within the past 5 years? Who?
Look, if you're gonna use the last 5 years, we have had rough receivers. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you know that. Look at Mitchell Trubisky's wide receivers. Allen Robinson was a dog in himself. He was a dog before he was a dog when he came. He not a dog no more. But other than like Allen went with Mitch. Let's just talk about regime. Mitch regime. I mean, who did he have? Taylor Gabriel was the second best receiver. Taylor Gabriel and who was that tight end? What was his name? Who was the tight end for not before Komet? Who was the tight end before Komet? Nagy brought him in.
Was it Greg Olsen?
No,
before Greg was
a while ago. It was like Burnett, Bennett.
Bennett.
Trey.
Bennett.
Oh, Anthony Miller, right?
No, the tight end. Trey.
It was something Bennett. Marquise Bennett or something, maybe. I know it's Bennett.
If y'all know it, put it in the chat. But yeah, so I mean,
what about Mooney? Mark? What about Darnell Mooney? Mark Mooney got a big contract after leaving Chicago. He was. What about him?
So I like Mooney. I definitely like Mooney, but
he had 1,000
DJ. Yeah. When it was his time to shine and be the number one guy, he disappeared, and that was before DJ Moore came. When DJ Moore came, it got even worse for him. So.
I personally don't think that he did enough to earn that big contract with Atlanta necessarily, but Atlanta's trying to surround themselves with some offensive options for Kirk Cousins. So I understand why they did it. I'd also heard that the Chiefs were looking at him, but the Chiefs don't spend money on wide receivers, so they weren't going to get him unless no other team was looking at him. But I mean,
I'll be the one to say it. The reason people don't want to come to Chicago is not because of who's on the roster or who's throwing the ball and running the ball. It's about the people who are running the show. It's the GMs, it's the head coaches, it's the coordinators. They just, like we said before, they just don't seem like we said, we've been through off seasons and purgatory where we like, what else? Like, what next? So we need this. We got holes. We need this. And we're waiting for our organization to make a move, do something drastic, take a shot at somebody, try to go get somebody. I mean, other than like we stated before, other than like, okay, we got Justin Fields. Like, okay, we got Justin Fields. Now, how are we going to help Justin Fields? What are we going to put around Justin Fields? How are we going to make him better? Nothing. Right. We traded and got Khalil Mack. Like, okay, now we got Khalil Mack. Okay, that was cool. And then, okay, and it's like every year it's just one thing. Oh, Roschon. Okay, Roschon. Roquan. Sorry, Roquan. Roquan's good. Okay, what else we gonna do around Roquan? And Khalil Mack is kind of coming off an injury too. We need to be okay. Then we got Sweat. Okay, now what we gonna do? We got somebody can bring pressure. We need to get her some help. It's like we do one thing and then that's it. It's like we just saying I love you just because she looked at you. Like we not even showing. It's like we not following through with an entire plan, and that's when players come like, okay, I'm here now. What else you gonna do to help me be better? Like, and it's never really happened. I mean, this off season was kind of exciting, but other than that, it's like,
I mean, I
what
thought
else are
last
you
offseason
doing?
was pretty big, bringing in. We hit the ground running. Like first thing we did when free agency opened, we got T.J. Edwards, and then soon afterwards we got Tremaine Edmonds, and just like we seem to shore up the defensive side a little bit last offseason, focus more offensively this season. But honestly, for me, like that's the difference that has shifted is we no longer seem to be that team that people are like, oh, I don't want to go there. Like they see the change that has happened with this front office and looking at it like, okay, you see how they're bringing in players for to help Caleb Williams succeed. They're revitalizing. I don't know. I mean, like we're bringing in people to help succeed, and other players could be looking at it like, hey, I want to be a part of that. Like as opposed to before when they were looking
Yeah,
at like, yeah, that's where wide receivers go to die. Like we don't look that way anymore. And
but
it's
last
like
off
Wes said,
season,
it's not the players, it's the management that are trying to help the players succeed. That's kind of been that change that I see.
but even with the TJ and the Tremaine thing, it was like, yeah, y'all brought them in, but y'all let Khalil Mack go, who is Khalil Mack in his own right, and then y'all let Roquan leave too. It's like you, those two dudes compared to TJ and Tremaine are not even close. So it wasn't even like we got that. It's like, yeah, you didn't pay Roquan Smith all that money, but you brought in great value Roquan. That's how it was seen. It wasn't seen like we went and got better. I mean, in hindsight, they good. They've been balling. I'm not gonna take nothing away from TJ or those linebackers. I'm not taking nothing away from. But initially speaking, I can tell you, I was like, he better do some Roquan like things, and he better do
For
some,
who? Which one?
both of them, either
Both
one
of
of
them.
them,
Both of
both of them. It's like somebody better come in and replace what we lost when we lost Roquan because we didn't want to spend no money, and everybody was heartbroken on that too. It was one of those things like we loved Roquan here in Chicago. We knew how good he could be, and he cost a lot of money though, which I
So
understand
two
the
them.
for
business
one.
is doing.
They got two
Go
for
ahead, Al.
one. TJ Edwards was a baller. TJ
He was
Edwards
a
balled out. He
monster.
balled out crazy last year. Actually, he probably going to be the one that's be up due next for a contract because he outplayed his contract. He took a
I completely agree. He definitely getting paid next.
Look, slow your roll. Slow your
okay.
That's
roll.
what I'm saying. Hey,
Because
look,
y'all forget Tremaine got 80 million.
right,
And we can't what y'all gonna give TJ Edwards 90? Not that no.
right. No,
No,
I'm
I'm
with you
not
on.
saying 90. I'm saying maybe they might have
Nah.
overpaid for Tremaine, but I
Oh,
think
for
they
sure. For
severely
sure.
underpaid TJ.
For
I
sure.
mean,
But that's that
I'm a little biased though, so I'm gonna
Well,
just
TJ Edwards.
I'm
yeah.
gonna just step out of that conversation because
No, all I'm
I just
saying
want
is
him to get paid.
comparative to offensive moves. Yeah, like I said, TJ Tremaine. In hindsight, yeah, they was balling. No lie, they balling. But when we first got him, it was like, mm, yeah, he was
For
good over there. Is he
Tremaine,
gonna be? Yeah, Tremaine was like,
Tremaine
okay,
has underperformed his contract
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, you know what I mean. TJ overperformed. And it's like versus losing Roquan, who has always been like a wrecking ball in our defense, and that typical like what we love in Chicago as a linebacker, like do
For
all
sure.
be all. You know what I'm saying? Taking command of the defense, like all that. That's what we lost. So to say that like that was a good move because we brought them in, it's like, yeah, but look what we compared to what we lost at that point in time. Now I'm like, okay, yeah, I hear you. I'm with you on it. Like, those is really good pickups. I like TJ, I like Jermaine. But in that off season, when we let Roquan leave and all this other kind of stuff, it was like, hope y'all know what y'all doing.
Roquan the thing with Roquan is once he came out with that letter from Ian Rappaport at this the day of family, what was it, family night? That's Family Fest or whatever. It came out the same day of Family Fest. That Ryan Poles made a statement literally minutes after that letter from Ian Rappaport came out about Roquan. Ryan Poles was pissed. He was pissed. You could see it on his face. You could hear it in his voice. He was pissed because it caught him off guard. And once that happened, you kind of knew that like the writing was on the raw wall. I know he played 3 games for us that season. That was our worst season in Bears history. 3 wins. We only had 3 wins, but Justin was a monster that year. You could see it. The Roquan and Ryan Poles thing. They were like, they was like this. There was no like, they weren't on the same page. But so, Wes, would you prefer Roquan and Sanborn or TJ Edmonds and Sanborn?
Ooh, it's a good question. Good question.
Like I said, as a fan, of course, I want Roquan. If this Madden, I'm turning all the settings off and there's no cap and all that up. I want my guy, my favorite people, my favorite players. But looking at what they did, you know what I mean? Looking for what we had to do, I wasn't mad at it. And like I said, I think about that with a lot of Ryan Poles moves too. It's like I have to take my fanaticism out of fandom out of the thought process and be like, okay, I see what you're doing. That's cool. Let's hope this is the right choice. Let's hope. I'm happy that he did make those choices and bringing those guys in and paying him the way he paid them. It worked out. But if it didn't, we will be having this conversation of, man, we should have kept Roquan. We should have just paid Roquan. This the Bears. We're a linebackers team. Look at the history of us. We would have been making all these kind of narratives up. So all I was saying was, getting TJ and Tremaine in that moment was not like this. It wasn't like drafting Caleb Williams. It wasn't you know what I mean? It wasn't this big, wow, they doing it. This is the changing of the guard. You know what I mean?
Okay, so at the time, and before I ask this question, so are you saying you prefer the Roquan and Sanborn type deal?
Yeah, like I said, at that point in time. Yeah.
Okay. So and I think we all can agree, and if you don't agree, let me know. When that contract dispute was going on between Ryan Poles and Roquan, we all wanted Roquan to get his money, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So and it just didn't work out that way. So I think we all got love for Roquan in that sense. Let me address this, John. We about to get it. We gonna get into the O-line and the false starts and the training camp issues and everything going on with the Chicago Bears at currently. Just stay with us. Just stay with us, because we covering all of that, everything that's going on with the Chicago Bears O-line right now. Anybody got anything else they want to touch on with that debate, that discussion?
I think that Ryan Poles is finding balance in Chicago Bears, because Chicago Bears been known for defense. All the years, that's what they put all their focus and their emphasis on the defensive side of the ball, where you have Brian Urlacher and Briggs, and then you have whatever. They always surrounded the talent around the defense. So I think that this new GM and this new regime in Chicago is finding balance on both sides of the ball and not putting so many eggs on one side versus the other. They want a balanced team, and that's what you need to win a championship, I think. I know people gonna say defense win championships, and they do, but in this day and age of football, I think that you got to have a little offense to be able to do some things.
One of the things that I noticed last year, like Tremaine didn't start off having the best year, but after a few games and once we got Montez Sweat, like a lot of the things on that defense started clicking. Like Tremaine had a handful of interceptions that I remember. PJ had a few interceptions, and I just feel like this year we're probably going to see even better play out of both of those players, because now they'll have had a year under their belt with this team in this system and stuff like that, I think that's just going to go a long ways to seeing them. Because I know that Tremaine, when he was in Buffalo towards the end of his time in Buffalo, he was like worth the contract that he got from us. Like he was playing at a very high level. And so I'd like to see him get back to that, you know?
I want to see him get back to that too, especially because that contract is huge we gave him. That man is making a lot of fucking money, and he's not better than TJ Edwards. And I think TJ Edwards' total contract was 18 million. He's not better than him.
I thought it was 11 million.
I think it was. I could be wrong. I think it was 18, but it's definitely it ain't 11. It was like a 3-year 18 point something when we signed him. We signed him early, but
maybe he gave that hometown discount or something like that.
Anything else y'all want to touch on with? I mean, we kind of start speaking on the linebacker position, but DJ Moore in the linebacker position. Anything else y'all want to add to the praise of DJ Moore before we move off of him?
I feel like we've said all we can at this point. Like we've talked about like his character. We all seem to agree that his character is very high, and that helps in the locker room. And with the struggles that we've had in the past before, like last year it was with Claypool, there was just, and towards the end with Darnell Mooney, he was saying some stuff about not liking this direction of things. Like just having a high character guy in the locker room, really helps out. I think it really helps out with Caleb Williams too. Like having somebody else that you can kind of lean on to kind of provide leadership without stealing your leadership role. Like DJ could be the type of guy that like Caleb goes and says something, DJ could be like, yeah, and supporting him. And because of that, other people will kind of fall in line too that may not have just kind of listened right away.
Yeah, I think I just think it's noteworthy that this is the Chicago Bears' biggest contract we've given out in terms of annual value. And we've paid dudes like Khalil Mack and Jay Cutler. I think that speaks a lot. That says a lot to who DJ Moore is. DJ Moore, when I went to training camp, he didn't sign autographs right away. This is just a story I want to tell. He was he snuck out the back, right? Like he snuck around practicing, and like we was all talking to George McCaskey. I got an autograph from George McCaskey, and it's a crowd around George McCaskey, right? And then I swear to you, I hear somebody whisper, "There's DJ Moore," like somebody in the crowd, and I turn around and DJ Moore is on a golf cart with his wife and his children. And once everybody, like, I guess dude thought he was whispering, but he wasn't. Everybody heard the shit, and we all turned around because like, screw George McCaskey. We want to talk to DJ Moore. Man, we like, I ain't ever been a part of a crowd like it was almost like a riot crowd, and we almost about to tilt that golf cart that they was on over just to get his auto. But nah, they was, the security was on it, and they were just like, yeah, nah, move, y'all gotta move, and they sped past everybody. So DJ Moore, it was just funny to me because I'm like, damn, you sneaking out the back, that's just like you know what I mean? So yeah, so let's wrap up the DJ Moore conversation and move on to our next segment before we
say go DJ, 'cause that's my DJ. Say go DJ, 'cause that's my DJ.
All right, DJ Moore. Caleb Williams, training camp, Chicago Bears current situation. It's a lot going on. Before we jump into training camp, we didn't get a chance to speak on this, and I wanted all of y'all opinions on this.
Sit up.
Caleb Williams contract negotiations before training camp. We all heard it. We all heard the news and the tidbits. One of them being his camp tried to negotiate a no franchise tag in there. They tried to negotiate paying him as an LLC for tax purposes. I don't know the exact details. Maybe one of y'all do, but I don't. Thoughts on how that whole negotiation went down with him in his camp? I'll go first. I think it's brilliant, especially the LLC part. I think it's brilliant. Do what you can do, especially if y'all new to it, because we know Caleb Williams does not have an agent. Do what you can to try to keep as much money as possible. When you making millions and millions of dollars like this, you're going to be taxed heavy. So I applaud his team for trying to find loopholes in the system, but it's like, dude, there's been thousands and thousands of players who have negotiated this rookie contract before you. Why do you think you're gonna change anything? Thoughts on his negotiation tactics by his team? Anybody can take it.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Al. No, you got it, Al.
I think he was going to open up a can of worms for the NFL if you allow them to let you negotiate and be paid as an LLC. Man, you was going to have your taxes was going to be barely nothing because Chicago taxes is sky high. It's through the roof. So you was going to be getting taxed basically you was basically going to get non-tax. Your money was going to be pretty much all your money. And if he had done that, he was going to open up a can of worms for the whole NFL. For players to be taxed as an LLC, meaning that he was going to be introduced as not Caleb Williams, but whatever his company was called, whatever he wanted, LLC. So that's the NFL not having it. You can't be bigger than the Shield. I have seen nobody is going to ever be bigger than the Shield. Roger Goodell and them guys is not going to let no player come in and be bigger than the NFL. That's not going to happen. It was brilliant, and it raised eyebrows, and maybe it might ruffle some stuff for later on down the line. But as of right now, it was not going to happen, but it was a great idea.
I'm with you, Al. I'm with you. Why not? What they say? What's the worst that can happen? Say no. What's the worst that can happen? They're gonna say no. You can't do that.
Yep.
That's it. So and like I said, Caleb. This generation of players and just generation all they're pushing the envelope on a lot of things in a lot of ways. And we just talking about contracts and all that. We tell players all the time, hey, go get your money, go get your bag. This is your livelihood because at some point you're gonna retire and it's gonna stop. And we all know the rate of professional athletes retiring and going broke and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm not blaming him for trying to set him and his family up for generational wealth and all that kind of stuff. So I don't look at it as oh my God, how the audacity of Caleb Williams trying to dodge taxes when, not to get political, but we get, presidents and government people and all the other people who, find loopholes to not big corporations finding loopholes. The NFL, I'm pretty sure lawyers find loopholes so they don't have to pay as many taxes as they should too. So why would I be mad at Caleb Williams for trying to do the same thing for himself? That just makes no sense to me. It's as trivial as the nail painting the pink phone in the crying with his mama. You won't try to find something to pick on the guy with, and it's just the next topic that y'all want to jump in on it.
Jailbreak. I didn't see that he trademarked the claw. If you find some research on that, just put it in the chat and let us know, because that's interesting if he was able to trademark the claw. Devin, you got thoughts on his contract negotiation tactics?
Like Wes was saying, what's the worst thing they can do? Say no. I mean, it's like you see a pretty girl, you want to ask her out. What's the worst she can do? Say no. But hey, maybe she says yes. Maybe he gets what he wants. Maybe he can get paid as an LLC, or he can make it so that he doesn't get the franchise tag, so that he can actually kind of keep going on his focus on trying to get his best contract as opposed to being tagged to stick with the team instead and stuff like that. Throw in whatever you can out there to try and get yourself a little bit more money, because you never know how long you're going to be able to play this game. I've already heard that he started the type of diet that Tom Brady had.
Yep.
and he's trying to basically put things in his favor to having a long-term career. But he has to know that this is a tough game. So you can't always be sure about what the future holds. So he's just trying to make sure that he gets as much money out of this as he can. So I
As he
applaud
should.
that. I mean, was I worried at least a little bit when I realized that he hadn't signed? Only a sliver. And that was only because I assumed that it was because he wanted to wait until Hard Knocks was there to start filming, and then they would sign the contracts. Well, then Rome signed his contract with Hard Knocks, and then after Rome, I was like, okay, now where's Caleb? And he didn't sign, and I was like, oh. And then it started coming out about the whole like negotiations were still going on type of thing. And it was like, oh, okay, well that's interesting. And then he signed the next day. So
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I
Training camp
mean,
was starting, and he had to get that done.
from everything we've seen about him, he doesn't seem to be the type of like player that everybody thought he was or everybody had complained about before, like drama queen, like it going to be a locker room cancer, all that stuff. I don't even see that at all. Like he knew that training camp was starting. He talked to his guys about the negotiations, seeing where things were. Maybe he gave some input afterwards, just saying like, "Hey, training camp's about to start. I got to get in there because he wants to come out here and be successful too. He knows that if he's not at training camp, he's not going to be able to develop that continuity with the players." So
right, and he's been at training camp, and we have seen the struggles. We've heard about the struggles, the up and down play, regardless of what you've heard from national media, and even sometimes the local media who even watch them every day. It is not all rainbows and flowers. It ain't peaches and cream. They are still in the installment period of this offense, and it has looked good at times, and it has looked bad at times. And some area of this team
Say go DJ, cause that's my DJ. Say go DJ, cause that's my DJ.
the episode today, but they look. I want everyone. This is my thing, and we talked about this coming into before training camp. Expectations. We had episodes on expectations. We had episodes on going over the schedule. I want Bears fans to realize exactly what's going on. It ain't. Look, when I went to training camp, he threw 2 interceptions in a row. He threw 3 interceptions on the day. Those interceptions weren't even to Jalen Johnson. Kyler Gordon wasn't even playing, and it wasn't to Tyreek Stevenson. You know what I mean? False starts. We've been hearing the false starts, right? Everybody's hearing the false starts is happening. We saw it on Thursday. You know what I mean? Like simple operational issues are going on with this team. And what I want to ask y'all fellas to kick off this training camp segment, what are some of the concerns y'all got from training camp so far? From what you've heard, obviously we can't be there we're not there at every training camp. So this is secondhand info, whether you've watched the Athletic, CHGO, NBC Chicago, you know what I mean, the news outlet. What are y'all fellas hearing that raises the most concerns for y'all? O-line, running backs, D-line, receivers, no pressure on the quarterback. Maybe Caleb isn't seeing the field like we thought. What are we hearing that we can share with the fans that probably concerns us the most? Anybody want to take that first?
Offensive line. I would say offensive line is a concern. Nate Davis' injury injury prone out of the lineup. The interior line, we're looking for a center again. Like all this stuff that we've been going through for the past 3 years when it comes to Chicago Bears with the offensive line, which may have been a lot of the deficiencies of our quarterback play. You could say it was a testament to the offensive line. But I think that I know Ryan Poole is trying to build a complete team, but I would think that it should start in the trenches. That's just my personal opinion, and I don't think that we address in the trenches that we should. So I say O line is probably.
What are you hearing about the O line? What are you hearing? What what have you heard?
Well, basically the shuffle in the interior O line, like the guard play, the guards is being injured. Tevin Jenkins again. You know what I'm saying? He's a great player when he's on the field, but you can't do nothing for us if you're on the sideline. So right. Tevin Jenkins is both our guards, Nate Davis and Tevin Jenkins, both the interior offensive line is once again we don't know we don't know as fans.
Ryan Bates definitely he's been playing right guard, and we talked about this before we went on air. Nate Davis is. I don't want to say praised him, but I gave him his credit at first. I put it in the group chat. He was at practice. He has been practicing, but he had one padded practice and he ain't practiced since. The first padded practice was last week, Friday. He ain't practiced since. So, and then Jailbreak says Nate Davis want him to play all 17. The O-line is definitely an issue. And if I'm going to piggyback off what you said, Al, I think that's my biggest concern. And I do got some concerns on the defense, but for right now, that's my biggest concern that I've been hearing from training camp. And not necessarily just performance, but because and I don't want to get too ahead because I got another question for y'all fellas, but Wes, what are some of your biggest concerns that you've heard from training camp so far?
Honestly, I think it's the lack of concern is what I'm kind of, and especially when it comes to the O line, in the sense of like Al was saying, like we've been talking about, like our overall concern this offseason has been, and everybody's been talking about it, is how we did not really address the trenches. And it's like we're not really getting answers on how we're going to mitigate or combat that in the coming preseason and the rest of the season. And it gives us that kind of old field of the Bears during the offseason of, do we know what we really want to do? Like I was saying, we're shuffling players around, certain people not starting. I got from what did he go to? Karan, I haven't seen or really heard if he's playing. All of these things, like Tevin's not playing, Nate not there, all these kind of stories coming out that sounds rather dysfunctional. So I'm not surprised about the false start. I'm not surprised about the picks and all this other kind of stuff, because it doesn't sound like they have an idea of what they really want to do with what we got at O-line. And everybody said, you said, Al said, start with the trenches and all that kind of stuff, which is, yes, I'm with you, I hear you, but we that ain't what we got right now. What we got as of August 3rd, August 4th, 2024 is this offensive line and these guys. How are we going to, what is their plan to, be the best that they possibly, to be the best. Like, I don't hear like, hey, look, we really like, Bates right here at guard, and he's done the best so far, and we're so close to the season starting, we're going to just stick him down there, we'll shuffle other people around. Or, Nate doesn't look like he's going to be healthy enough, so we're probably going to put, like some idea, or bringing in somebody or anything. Like, I don't see them. It doesn't seem like it's a fire drill or fire line for them, how this offensive line is functioning and how it's working. And it kind of makes me more and more worried than I was, post draft.
My bad. Yeah. Wes, go ahead. My bad.
No. I'm just saying, like, me post draft, I was like, okay, well, we do got some people there. Let's see how they figure them out, how they work them in, who takes over, who they're going to give it to. And it's like, okay, well, we're post Hall of Fame game, and we still pretty much don't know who's the center and who's the guard and who we're going to play. So I know we'll see more in the next month or so, and hopefully they show me something that they're trying something, because I feel like they're not really trying anything. They're just, I don't know. I just don't, like I said, I have no real statement because I don't think we have any real true information or understanding about what they really want to do.
Well, let me just read Bear Truth 9 comments. Like I said, I like to get our loyal fans comments read and out there. He said Trench is coming this offseason, maybe a piece at trade deadline. But we got 3 picks in the top 2 rounds, an edge, and maybe 2 offensive linemen. We've talked about that. Y'all know we've talked about next year is the year. Give him another off season. Ryan Poles under his belt. We've talked about that. Just wanted to read that out. And but look, so Wes and it look, O line is an issue. So for you, Wes, because I know Al he basically brought it up. So what for you, Wes? Is the O line the biggest concern from what you've heard and from about surrounding training camp? Is that the biggest concern for you?
Yeah, that's the biggest concern, the biggest focus. I think we've checked a lot of boxes in other position groups as far as being better next season, healthier next season. Um, even with like, we talked, off, in our group chat, and even special teams, like, getting, the Australian leg, all that kind of stuff, and like assigning certain things where we're like, okay, we're good here, and it's like,
Right.
all right, now will be the time to start making some hard decisions. Like, hey, look, this is where you're going to be. Stay that is where you're going to be. So these
Right.
guys themselves can know, hey, look, I'm the center. I need to focus on being the center and working with Caleb and working with, who I need to work with to be the best at this position. But like I said, like you said, with people not actually practicing and not, being there and showing up or being available, it's hard for them to try to make those hard decisions. But at the same time, you got to make it soon.
Yeah, I mean it's preseason and we got 3. Well, we had an extra game, so I won't say we're behind. We had an extra game in preseason. Devin, concerns from what you've heard surrounding training camp with the Chicago Bears. What is the biggest concern that you?
For me, I'm going with O line too, as well. But like another aspect, like one of the bright spots of our O line, Darnell Wright, he was getting thrown around by Montez Sweat.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that.
And so I'm concerned
Every
about
day.
that. And then he wasn't there today, I
Yep.
believe. So it's like, I don't know. It just seems like there's more going on. Like the area that we were actually excited for their second season, like it really could just be a matter of like them not having a good enough like continuity amongst each other that it throws in confusion. Like I remember I can't remember who it was last year, but sometimes due to injury we had somebody else that was right next to Darnell Wright playing the right guard slot, and when those two were next to each other playing together, they seemed to be like a wall. But that wasn't the normal for them.
No.
So I don't know. Like I'd like to see them just kind of like have a situation where they get a lot of reps in at one spot. They kind of don't need to be moving around much. Like I know how beneficial like a swing guard or a swing tackle are, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, you want guys that are last a while and are in that spot instead of like moving around, changing things up. You want consistency. Consistency means that you can trust, what that guy next to you is going to do.
Right.
As opposed to like maybe they cut to their left when they were supposed to go to their right because they were thinking about their assignment on the left as a left guard, but they're playing right guard now because of an injury. And it's like you want people that don't make those types of mistakes just due to not getting enough playing time in that spot.
So I mean, look, So let me ask y'all this then. Um, we've all it sounds like we all got concerns with that O line. That in from what I'm hearing, that is all of our biggest concern. D line, from what I've been hearing, has been dominating. And I don't even know if that's because the O line is just so bad. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's Montez Sweat has been look. He has been, from what I have heard, and I can say this with confidence. I've listened to multiple people say the same thing. Montez Sweat is killing Darnell Wright over there. Like Darnell Wright can't keep up. He just can't. But is that a testament to who Montez Sweat is and will be for us on that that on the defensive end? Or is that a testament? I hope so too. But is that a testament to Darnell Wright just not developing as quick and good as we thought he should be in year 2? This is his second year. It takes time for them dudes to get acclimated. It takes time. But still, like, is Montez Sweat that good, or is the O line that bad? For me, it's definitely O line. It's definitely O line. Y'all know where I reside with that. I thought it would be D line. That's why it's a big concern for me. Coming to this season, y'all know how I felt about that D line as well as the O line, but I thought the D line was the weaker of the two. And it's not looking that way. It's looking like the O-line, that the group we've assigned to protect this number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, is not good. Like Jared Goff is not better than I don't think Jared Goff is better than Caleb Williams. But guess what? He has a stout O-line protecting him. He can throw 4,000 yards because he got the time to do that. I think I hope I fear that this O-line that we put in front of him, and there's no continuity. Fuck the skill level, because continuity can help your skill level. If you suck, you got 4 dogs around you and you're the 5th guy. If you got 4 dogs around you, they can elevate you. But there's no continuity. There's not even that there for this O-line. Like you said, Devin, Darnell Wright didn't practice today. And he's been struggling, and he didn't practice today. So that's my biggest concern, because I thought the D line would be better than I thought the O line would be better than the D line, but it's not looking like that. Let me see. Jailbreak said I have to wear the rusher out. Sweat would get discouraged, guaranteed. I don't know what that means. But when I was at training camp, Montez Sweat was beating them dudes so fast. And you know, you're a defensive end. So you just like, you're not even thinking. He was beating them dudes so fast and so quick. He was hitting Caleb. Like, not hitting, but like, I know y'all. Yeah. And there was one time he smacked the ball out of his hands. And he got tossed out of the drill. He got tossed out of the rest of the drill. It was like the first or second rep of that drill. He hit his hand, boom. They tossed him out. Matt Eberflus goes up to him and he says, you will be sorry if he's hurt. Like, because, but so is that I get it. Monte, don't touch the quarterback. You know better. You know what I mean? But that's deep. That's big. You go to your star defensive player. You tell him you're going to be sorry if he's hurt. You know what I mean? I feel like you should be going to that offensive line more than you're going to Montez Sweat and telling them
you should be complaining to the offensive line, saying
guard him with your life.
He's not hurt.
Guard him with your life.
That's your job, to make sure that he doesn't get hurt.
Exactly. So I guess that's why the offense. If the defensive line was still kind of I wouldn't be too concerned, because I thought the offensive line would be better. But because that offensive line is not better than the D line, that's why I'm scared. Y'all got anything else y'all want to add to that, concerns from what y'all been hearing surrounding this training camp?
Nothing. I mean, we knew the defense was coming for Caleb.
Like, did y'all hear that Caleb is getting his passes batted down way too often, more than any of the previous quarterbacks? We all know Caleb Williams is not the tallest guy, but from what I've been hearing lately, His passes have been getting batted down at the line of scrimmage. Javon Dexter been batting them down. Hey, that's a good sign. That's a good sign for Dexter. Y'all know how I feel about Dexter, but still, like, is Caleb Williams' height an issue? He's not the biggest quarterback. You know what I mean?
Have
y'all not heard that?
I've heard that, and my whole thing is this: I'm not surprised that the defense is doing this. I don't know if I'm still in here, but
you froze. But we can hear you. You froze, but we can hear you.
Okay, so if you can still hear me, I'm not surprised. The defense said they was coming for Caleb. They said they wasn't going to baby him. I think I'm getting kicked out, but
if you get kicked out, go ahead and jump out and just jump back in.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump out and jump back.
Because we need to see mannerisms when you're speaking on this.
I gotta get this all the way out. So let me jump out.
All right, for sure. How do I get him off stage? But anyway, so like I'm starting to hear Caleb Williams is what 6'1"?
Yeah, 6'1".
Ish, 6'1". He's not the biggest dude. He's not. And I heard in 707, we all know 707, there's no O-line, there's no D-line. They have been bringing out like coaches with big ass, like holding big signs or posts, whatever you want to call it, to replicate the D-line and the O-line because he's getting his passes batted down way too often. Do y'all think Caleb Williams' height is an issue? Will be an issue?
I don't think so. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a rookie. He's still a rookie. He still got to learn things. He's still going through stuff in his mind where he's trying to learn and figure out. And this defense, for the most part, is the same defense that, came off that great second half of that season for us. So they already kind of got, what they want. Yeah, they got their reps together. They know how they want to play with each other. They know how they want to do things and all that kind of stuff. And this offense is like almost like a brand new baby. Still got to learn how to walk and all this other kind of stuff and kind of get what they going. And like I said, Caleb is he's going through his homework. He's going through his checks of is this right? Am I doing that right? Why this defense is like, this is how we're gonna get every quarterback. This is not, for them in my mind, this is not training camp for them. This week 17 fighting for a playoff spot for them. They want to come at them hard. They're going to keep coming. That's why you see like a lot of players outside of our stars getting hungry for the ball, getting those interceptions. Guys we haven't seen really, which is, like I said, which is good for us too in the long run as well. And for me, I don't think Caleb's height is going to be an issue. I don't think that any of these things is an issue. I think it is you got to learn. Remember this. Okay, now I try to do this. Now I try to do this, get better. And one thing that we have heard that is a positive coming out is like every time Caleb gets back on that practice field or he gets back in the situation, he's correcting something that he didn't do right previously. So yeah, it's getting bad. I'd rather him get bat down now. Get the balls batted down now. Not, like I said, not week 17 trying to fight for a playoff spot, or not against the Green Bay Packers when we trying to beat our rivals, not when we on a back-to-back losing week or something like, or those kind of situations. Do it now. Get it out your system now. See how it looks now and get it up out of there. So like I said, I don't see too much that I'm really mad at about Caleb. I mean, there's plenty of quarterbacks out there that you've seen even in past history during training camps and practices. Like, man, he looks good. He's spot on. Hopefully that can translate into the game. And then they get in the game and you like, yeah, I don't even know why you in the league. Like, that was a horrible game. They was trash, So for me, that's what this is for. It's for that. And as long as Caleb keeps getting better and developing and all that kind of stuff, and as far as the defensive line looking a lot better, they said they wanted to. Dexter said he wanted to come in and make statements. I mean, Montez Sweat is Montez Sweat. Like, of course, he's throwing around a second-year O-lineman. He's supposed to. Like that's how I feel. And Wright is learning, and he should be learning, and they should be getting with each other. Like, man, what made you throw me to the left like that? Well, I saw your leg. Like this is what we supposed to be doing. And like I said, if Darnell Wright was in his eighth year, seventh year, was a Pro Bowler 2 or 3 years ago, and he getting tossed around, I'm highly concerned. But it's his second year. He's going against one of the best. Like, what is your respect? And he's not finna go easy on him. He's not finna coddle him through this because no other edge. Max Crosby not gonna coddle you if you play up against him. These edge rushers not gonna coddle you. So why should I? So yeah, I'm gonna throw you around in these practices. And then when I'm done throwing you around, I'll sit around like, hey, look, man, you need to make sure your weight is here. Make sure you're this and that, and giving each other pointers and talking to each other and being teammates. No matter what side of the ball you're on. So I'm just like I said, I'm just really concerned at how the coaching staff seems to be handling the offensive line, not how practice is actually looking.
Facts.
Bear Truth said my main concern is how they look execution wise. My biggest question is the OC good. What I saw in the first preseason, it looked for the first time, everyone was on the same page. So far, so good. And we talked about that. I think I could have sworn I mentioned it. It looked pretty decent for the most part. I mean, they had some issues in that game, and I don't want to jump too far ahead to the Hall of Fame game, but it looked pretty decent. As far as training camp goes, so what is some of the best things we have heard from training camp so far? Actually, hold on. Before we answer that question, some of the best things, best and worst we heard from training camp. I want to play a clip from Caleb Williams speaking on what he needs to work on in his progress in training camp so far to this point. Here he is.
They told you yet if you're
What
playing
game do you feel like is furthest away from where you would like to be come week one?
Furthest away. It's a good question. I would say right now, working on my got me with that one. Stumped me. I would say working on my blitz looks, my blitz and coverage looks, and feeling the umbrella of the defense, and filling that out to adjust, to adjust protection, to adjust, whether it's a run, flip the run, flip the run into it, flip the protection. Get to a quick game, get to a cover zero check. However the structure of it works out, just progressing, and a lot of that comes with seeing it and reps, and so that's why also preseason and those things are so important.
Have they told you if you're playing on Thursday? Do you?
Oh no. I would love to get out there and play. It's pretty awesome to be at Canton, but. It's coach's decision.
You think you'll get a chance to voice your opinion?
I don't know if I'll be able to voice it at this point and at my time and this point.
So we saw first of all we saw DJ Moore on that screen smiling at Caleb the whole time. That should have been Caleb Williams' picture up there, but that was Caleb Williams speaking on what he need to work on. I don't know if everybody heard that entire thing. It was kind of lengthy, but I'm gonna play the first part one more time, and because later on he talks about the Hall of Fame game and wanting to play in the Hall of Fame game. But I'm gonna play it one more time, and he speaks on what he needs to work on.
They told you yet if you're playing
What game do you feel like is furthest away from where you would like to be come week one?
Furthest away. It's a good question. I would say right now, working on my got me with that one. Stumped me. I would say working on my blitz looks, my blitz and coverage looks and feeling the the umbrella of the defense, and filling that out to adjust, to adjust protection, to adjust, whether it's a run, flip the run, flip the run into it, flip the protection, get to a quick game, get to a cover zero check, however the structure of it works out, just progressing, and a lot of that comes with seeing it, and reps, and so that's why also preseason and those things are so important.
They told you if you're
Oh damn! I come back and y'all on separate sides of the screen. That's okay. Come to the dark side, Wes. You come to the dark side for a little bit. Look, blitz coverage, blitz pickups, O-line adjustments. Basically, what he said he still need to work on was basically the basics. That if you're a rookie quarterback coming in, you're going to expect that, especially coming from the system he was in. Caleb Williams was just getting a hand signal or whatever they did, a card signal, and that was a play. You know what I mean? He didn't have to get in a huddle and recite 20 words that makes up 2 plays or 30 words that makes up 2 plays. He didn't have to do this at USC. So blitz coverages, the entire, basically he said like reading defenses. That's what I heard. Reading defenses. That's what I heard. Thoughts on Caleb Williams and what he said out his own mouth he needs to work on. Anybody want to take that away?
I love to hear a quarterback talking about progression. We coming from the previous quarterback, that was a knack and that was an issue that all the fans said he didn't have. They say he couldn't read defenses and he wasn't good with progression. So to see a new young quarterback come in his first year and criticize himself the way he is about things that we have already went through the fire on, that's like, I love it. I love to hear a young quarterback say he got to work on his progression and different reading defenses. Man, that's big. That's real big. We're not used to that.
And if you heard, like, he was stumped a little, or he even said he was stumped. It took him a while to like get that out. I know y'all, we've all been to job interviews and they ask you what's your strengths and weaknesses. Some people have a hard time naming their strengths. Like some people have a hard time bragging on themselves, you know what I mean? But other people have a hard time finding their own weaknesses and being self-aware. It took him a moment. It took him a moment to actually say what he was struggling with, and he came up with blitz coverages and the basics for a rookie quarterback. Wes, Devin, what are y'all thoughts on basically Caleb Williams admitting that he's struggling? Or not struggling. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say struggling. But what he needs to improve on and still get better is rookie basics, reading defenses.
Honestly, I think it's one of those situations where he couldn't really think of something off the top of his head to say. And it could have been a situation where he knows that was one of the biggest concerns, like Al had mentioned, of our previous quarterback, and he threw it out there. Because I was going to say earlier when you were asking about the good things that we were seeing, I thought that I saw a lot of him looking off defenders and stuff like that, and sometimes he'd pass to DJ Moore, and you could tell that was a third option in his, like, going through his progressions. The first two weren't there when he needed him to be, so he threw to DJ Moore as a third. So I don't know, like it sounds like maybe he could have been just kind of coming up with something, but even knowing that he's looking at that as an area to improve doesn't necessarily mean he thinks he's bad at it. It's just an area he feels like improving. Right. And improving in that area to me is always going to be a positive. Like if you can really see what the defense is going to do, I feel like that's a good spot to be if you're a quarterback.
Al, Wes.
Me, it was more of what we've been kind of saying is about that trusting those five guys in front of him, trusting that offensive line. Like if that was a solid veteran offensive line who could
Mm-hmm.
look at certain things, that center, I'll just throw Jason Kelsey out there because he's probably, the big name for centers or that. But those guys and those great offensive linemen, tackles, guards, centers who know their job, who's been doing it, who's solid in it, who can look up and be like, oh, I see what y'all doing. The quarterback doesn't even have to tell me what y'all finna try to do. I think just reciting that to them to say, hey, look, do y'all see that they coming off this side? Because that's what I see. Like, hey, I think they're coming over here. I think, as a quarterback to switch it to that side because maybe he don't have that faith in that offensive line to see it before the snap. Because it's been a criticism. We just
Mm-hmm.
criticized them for a long time. Like,
Definitely
hey,
did.
maybe Tevin don't see that linebacker sneaking up behind him, and his job is to come here and come there. So let me be more efficient in helping my line protect me, telling people, hey, look, I feel heat coming from this side or that side. I think that's what they're gonna be. Let me flip it and guarantee me some protection over there. Or bringing in, like he said, switching the run, running the ball out, figuring out the blitz, and just the biggest thing he said is the umbrella of the defense. What does
Yep.
this defense look like they finna do, and how can I take advantage of what they're going to do? Because I'm in a system with a bunch of new people. Like we said, he's a young player. This is a young offense as far as playing together. We don't just know. And like I said about the defense kind of know what everybody's going to do because we did this very well for like 8, 9 straight games last season before the season ended, and we looked good doing it. So I really don't have to worry about what Montez don't have to worry about what Dexter is doing or he's doing because we already been doing this with Caleb and this offensive line. Like a bunch of these, what is it? 3 of them out there that's brand new to the team. Bates and Coleman and all of that is brand new to
Yep.
the team. Keenan Allen brand new to the team. Odunze new to the team. Like uh, uh, Everett, like all these new offensive key pieces that's new. Is getting that continuity, saying like, "Hey, are y'all seeing the same thing?" And Caleb reciting like, "Hey, this is what I see. Do y'all see that too?" And they can be like, "Yeah, I saw that. Okay, cool. We're gonna practice that more. We're gonna figure out how we're gonna call it, how we're gonna see that, or signal, or I'll come up, to the ball and
Right.
give a hard color count or something like that. Just getting that comfortability. I don't like Devin said. I don't think he sees himself as being bad at reading the defense or having a problem reading the defense. It's what are we all gonna do when this defense comes at us after I snap this ball? And does everybody have the same mindset to where, you don't want one half of your offensive line going left and the other half going right, and there's a big hole in the middle,
Yep.
And I think
Yep.
that's what he was getting at as far as what he needs to do. He needs to relay and communicate what they see and getting that information back exact and them having a reaction to what the same thing, even if they're going to just, RP don't get up out of it because they coming so hard on this side and the way we set up and the formation we in, they got us. So let's just go and get this quick game, as he said, or flip the run, as he was saying, or knowing if it's a blitz, which side, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think he was saying like, I can't read a defense.
Right.
I think he was saying like we need to combat whatever the defense is coming and be quicker at it as we get, going and as the season starts to where we, what I'm saying, we're not, a second behind on what we need to be doing.
So is this a testament to Poles then? It like because if he he's a rookie. If he ain't got time that he needs to read a defense, maybe he needs more than maybe he needs more time to read a defense than he'll need next year. Maybe next year he'll be quicker. In the third year he'll be even faster. But he's a rookie. You know what I mean? So is that a testament to the Poles decisions? I mean, we got a loaded wide receiver room, but if the quarterback can't give him the ball, then I mean, like how effective can they be?
I think to piggyback on what Wes said, I heard earlier in the week that Caleb was sliding protections and doing different things with the offensive line. That's something that we're not used to our quarterbacks doing, to be able to recognize and be able to do this and do this with the offensive line. So I just think Caleb is ahead of. I think he's ahead of his time in the learning curve when it comes to just being a quarterback. I think he got it from the neck up. And it's just like he exposing the deficiencies that we got on offensive line. So I think that Poe's going to have to get with the program because he got a quarterback now that actually can think, actually can think from the neck up. And I mean, I never heard a quarterback in Chicago talking about spine protection. I never, at a rookie, I've been a Bear fan for a long time. I haven't heard it. So to hear that lets me know that he understands what he's seeing on a defensive side to be able to make that call. So we got to get better. We got to get better protection. That's just what it is.
Bears KI film. He said, "Man, isn't it amazing? We've never had a QB like this."
Facts.
Look, let's pump the brakes because honestly, I don't see. And this Wes. This is where me and you go head to head on the Roshan Johnson, Khalil Herbert conversation. I have to pump people in. I have to stop people in their tracks when they start saying stuff like this. Like Bears KI Film, look, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, the Black Bear Podcast. One word, no spaces. I got my boy Devin in the building with me, my guy Wes below me, and then our newest addition to the channel, Al. And we gonna be giving y'all pre-game shows, post-game shows, and just weekly updates on the entire Chicago Bears organization. But look, like, where's this coming from? This not that one. Hold on, let me find another comment. This one right here. We've never had a QB like this. A QB like what? That's what I'm saying.
Poppycock. We've had QBs talk about we need to do our better protection, and I need to get out and communicate with the line better. And we've had these conversations before. We've had it. Even your boy Jay Cuddy, we talked about it a little bit during his stint here. It was just the perfect question at the perfect time during a perfect interview, because that's what everybody is talking about. That's what everybody's worried. We all said it when we said, what is our biggest concern? What did everybody sit here and talk about? The offensive line. So yeah, we can't really say nothing about, like you were saying, this is a testament to Post. It is a testament to Post because it's really nothing else you can really talk about. Like, you can't really talk about, oh man, the wide receiver room needs work. No, it don't. Oh man, our tight ends ain't really. No, they're not. Even our backup quarterbacks dueling in a Hall of Fame game. I mean, look like okay, cool. Even if we need our backups, looks pretty, can handle a game or two if they need to. Like I said before, our special teams. Cairo Santos is a very accurate and very reliable kicker. Torrey Taylor should be. I'm gonna say a great punter to set us up and put our opponents in really uncomfortable situations. The secondary, even without Kyler Gordon, we got other people out there picking the ball off that we don't even know their names. It's like three Joneses, 37, 33, 32. All their last name is Joneses. I don't know if they're related or not, but they out there getting picks in practice. So it's all we got to worry about. You can drag in, like, yeah, we still got to see Pose and Javon and Pickens get at it to help Montez. So we still gotta get it, but that's looking kind of like it might be some upside to that. So yes, when you go through and say, what can I say that we can work on? Well, I could work on, switching those coverages up and sliding the line and reading the defense better for our offensive line to help those guys be better. Yes, that. But because for me, it's like, what else you supposed to say? Hey, I'm a rookie. I suck. I can't read the defense. That's why the ball is getting batted down. I don't know. But it's like, no, Taylor, we're just not going to say that. So, yeah, he's going to take it on his shoulders and say, hey, look, I can do a better job at helping protection. That's basically what he said.
It sounds like you're pushing back on Al a little bit, but before I let Al respond,
a little bit, just a little bit.
Let me get his name right. Bearski Film. Hey, appreciate you tuning in to the Black Bear Podcast. Got my guy Chef West at the bottom, my guy Al at the right. Devin had to step out, but look, hey, I haven't seen you in the chat before. Appreciate you being in the chat because look, it get real in here, and there's no agenda. Everybody speaks how they feel and say what they mean and mean what they say. Wes, it sounds like you're saying that because Al, what did you just say? Like we haven't had you and Bearsky are saying we haven't had a quarterback like this, and this is where me and like I said before, me and Wes get into it with the running back situation.
I mean,
not quite that, but to that extent. But where is this coming from? Like, what has Caleb shown you that we've never seen before in training camp?
I mean, let's just be honest, man. From Jay Cutler to Justin Fields, great athletic ability. But they couldn't think. They wasn't thinkers, and that was one of the reasons why they didn't run the offense efficiently as we would want them to. So with Caleb Williams, it seems as though early on he's saying the right things as a rookie, and he's seeing a lot of things that the previous quarterbacks may have not seen or may have not caught up on. We ain't going to know until we actually see the guy and play to get a real accurate read on what is what he's talking is backing up with play. But I mean, just like I say, the previous quarterbacks that I've been through, from Jay Cutler to Justin Fields, we fell in love with them. They have great athletic ability, can do everything, intangibles through the roof, but they could not think or read from the neck up. They couldn't. They wasn't there. They wasn't there. So it seemed like we may have a quarterback that with how Pose has been drafting and some of the success he have, we may have drafted somebody that he think that may not have the athletic ability as those two guys, but can think of a lot. They can do the thinking. So I'll take a Peyton Manning type of quarterback, somebody that can think versus athletic ability all day long.
Let me just rally through these comments. They coming in quick now. So let me rally through them. He said Jailbreak said I still remember Jay getting pummeled. I do too, in which we talked about that. The old line was a huge issue in the Jay Cutler era. Bearsky Film said you're right though. Still got to see him go out there and do it. But man, it looks like he's gonna be able to go out there and ball with the better QBs in this league, and it does look like that. Look. He's showing he has flashes. He has plays that you like, whoa, that dude, he's like that. He got it. My thing is, and I still haven't honestly look, and this is my honest opinion. I think if Justin was in this situation right now and we traded those picks for a war chest of picks, he'd be better in training camp right now. That's just what I think. That's just my opinion. I don't think Justin is a better quarterback than Caleb. Wes, you know me. I don't believe that. But I do think Justin would be better in year 4 of his career, correct? Right? Than Caleb is right now in year 1. And that's not saying much. I'm not trying to say I'm groundbreaking news saying that. It's a rookie versus a year 4 starter. So but I just don't see where this hype comes. Bearsy's Film said, thank you guys, appreciate that. Thank you, my guy, appreciate that for sure.
I got a question for you, Mark.
What's up, Al?
So in JD Moore when he had his press conference and he had Caleb up there with him, they asked him, what do you think the Bears record would be next year? And he said, well, we won 7 games last year. We should do 10 games this year with a better. Like he endorsed this quarterback, so he already given them 3 more wins. I'm not saying he's saying that because it's the politically correct thing to do, but it seems like he actually have confidence in this guy. He actually is like endorsing this dude to the level of to where he looks like, it seems like, man, he sees something that us fans we ain't been able to see yet. You know what I'm saying? He said we should do 10 more wins. We should have 3,000-yard receivers, and we should have 10 wins. That's what he said.
So you asking me my thoughts on that, and I'm familiar. I heard it. I heard it. So my thoughts on that is what we kind of talked about during the DJ Moore segment. The man is loyal. The man will be loyal, and like he said, Justin was my guy, but guess what? Caleb, my quarterback now, and he didn't say it, but you know me, I'm gonna say it. It's fuck Justin. It's Caleb. Caleb Williams my quarterback, so Caleb Williams my guy 2.0. You know what I mean? So look, I'm going to overhype him. I'm going to say he's better than the last guy. And the last guy, and the last guy. It's not like me and Justin Fields are like, brothers or something like that. I think DJ Moore is going to be loyal in any situation you put him in. He's not going to switch up. He's going to be up front. Yeah, he didn't hate Justin Fields because, like, if you're alluding to he's saying Caleb is better than Justin, my pushback on that would be Justin gave that man his best best season of his career. So
and he got him paid.
And he got him paid. He gave him $110 million extension. And Caleb ain't do that. Caleb has done nothing for him so far. So I'm not saying he does not think Caleb is better. I'm just saying if you're implying that that's what he's saying, I can push back and say, well, DJ being the realist that he is, and I think we all have heard him speak multiple times. Justin Fields got him paid. Sam Darnold didn't get him paid. Cam Newton didn't get him paid. All the other bums he played with didn't get him paid. Justin got him paid. Not only paid, but not Pro Bowl. He should have been Pro Bowl. But his best single season of his career. That's my pushback on that.
I got a comment on Bearsky right here. You can throw it up there. It's the Justin and Bajan. I'm pretty sure when Bajan was in there, he was throwing to a bunch of people besides DJ Moore.
I did.
Don't forget that Phil missed out. No, in those 4 games, Bajan, he was spreading the ball around. Let's just say that much. And we all know that.
He definitely was.
You know, that's a fact. Secondly,
more than Justin.
Yeah,
so people don't think I'm biased. He was doing it more.
He was doing it more than Justice. And secondly, to say like, he said we won 7, we should have won 10. I don't think that is a Justin Fields indictment because a lot of those we could have won without Justin being out there or whatever Justin did those games. And thirdly, 3 receivers. I mean, who would have been the 3,000-yard receivers from last season besides DJ Moore? It wouldn't have been Claypool. It wouldn't have been Mooney. Tyler Scott didn't really look that good. Velus Jones is in. Oh, are you know what I mean? Like, who would have been those 3 people that was that counteract to get those other 1,000 yards besides DJ Moore? So I don't think that whole we should have won 10 was an indictment on Justin Fields or a attribute to Caleb. I think it's more of look at all that we added, the accumulation of offensive talent, those two stout receivers we got, that running back that we got out there. And if you think about it, a lot of the reasons we did do so well last year was because of injuries. Like it just said, Justin Fields missed 4 games. That's injuries. Kyler Gordon missed games. Brisker missed games. Khalil Herbert missed games. Tevin Jenkins. Like a lot of people missed a lot of games. Yeah. So if we was 100% for 17 straight games, I think we would have been at 9 or 10 games, despite who was good and who's bad. So I don't want to, like, everybody know I'm not fuck Justin, but I'm like, yeah, he did cause a lot of the failures for us, but it wasn't just, you can't just say like, oh, because we got Caleb, now we finna win 11 games.
Right.
No, we got Keenan Allen too. We got Roma Dunze too. We got Swift. We got Everett. We got Komet healthier. We got a healthier defense. We have a semi better pass rush than we had the first half of the season. Like all of that played into that 7 game, and we still almost made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that whole we won 7, we should win 10 now is because Caleb's coming in and he's going to take the reins. I don't want that to be the narrative. Not saying that it ain't. Not saying Caleb not going to probably add a game or 2 on top of that for sure. Right. Yes, he has the talent to do that. But if you look back at our previous podcast, my bold prediction for us is way more than 10 games. I think I predicted us 12, 13 games because of how many weapons we added on offense and what we did with special teams, and it's switching up the coaching staff and bringing people in and just doing a better job this offseason. So I just want that to be out there, and I don't want it to be like, hey, Caleb Williams coming to town, we finna go crazy, because if we didn't get Keelan Allen and we didn't get Roma Dunze and we still just didn't get Swift and we had Herbert and Rojo and we still had Darnell Mooney and you know what I mean? We still had Eddie Jackson and all the people who underperformed, really.
Byron Pringle, Equinemius St. Brown.
Like,
you name all the bums that we had.
All the people we had last season. Like, it was terrible how underperformed we were, and we still almost made the playoffs.
Valid points. I can't argue with that. That's some valid. You got actual points. Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm thinking, like I said, my prediction, my bold prediction, like I said, what I say, 11, 12 north of that mark, then I had like a high win rate for us, given my optimism, what we did and how we, built out this offense and this defense. And it's just based on man, we can get into that because I already.
I was gonna say, look, let's just jump into the Hall of Fame game and not even just the Hall of Fame game, but camp battles, position battles that's going on right now with the Chicago Bears. And Jailbreak brought it up. Bagent and Rippin. What is it? Is it Rippin?
It's Rippin.
Rippin.
Yeah.
He looked good, but what did Bagent throw? How many passes did Bagent throw in that game? Like, what kind of conclusions can we draw? Bagent, I'm pulling up right now. Bagent was 2 for 3 with 16 yards. You know what I mean? He only missed one pass, and then Rippin just was 11 for 15, 166 and 3 touchdowns. So, but I mean, look, I saw Bagent last year. I heard the hype behind Bagent, and some of the Bears fans pushing for him. Now, I don't care what they say. They was pushing for him to take Justin Fields' job.
It was.
Bagent went through his progression, and he got the ball out faster than Justin. Bagent was not a better quarterback than Justin Fields. I don't care what nobody say. His arm strength is a huge tell. First of all, he had a noodle arm. He had a noodle arm. I don't know if he got stronger over the offseason, but we saw it. Bagent, his arm power wasn't as strong as Justin. And that's huge for a quarterback. But he was 2-2, undrafted rookie, starter, or started 4 games and won 2 of them. I mean, you can't blame him for that. You know what I mean? But from what I've been hearing in training camp surrounding Bagent of late, he been struggling. He has not been playing pretty, as good. But I think the Hall of Fame game showed us a few things. Bagent is the guy, number 2. That's why he only played 3 snaps. He only threw the ball 3 times. And Rippin and Reed are the 3 the fighting for that 3 spot. I can't see Rippin taking that 2 spot unless it gets crazy. In the next 3 games we got, and he just keep doing this, and Bagent really just struggle. Other than that, I do think Bagent is that they know Bagent has that spot. That's why he only played threw the ball 3 times in that game. Y'all got any comments on that QB2 position battle?
Of course I do. Of course, it raises the question of you just. I mean, like I said, as of right now, yes, Bagent is QB2. Will that be the narrative week 1? I'm kind of in the realm of probably he's gonna have the ball because he's gonna take a lot of snaps. He's not gonna just throw 3 passes. But the way Rippin was out there, how comfortable he was, and the thing about what I'm saying is they're more than likely going to be with these same group of guys this offseason. And Rippin looked good with the guys he was playing with. And that's what they're going to base it off of. And like you said, Bagent arm ain't that big. It ain't that great. He got it out fast because if they run too far down the field, he ain't going to be able to get it to him. If they get too far away, he's not going to be able to get it down there. So he has to be that, get it out fast, get it out quick, dink kind of quarterback. What I seen from Rippin was, like I said, I'm big on the eye test. I liked how he stood in the pocket. I like how he
Mm-hmm.
seemed like, short memory. Because what's our guy we was just talking about that got caught the 2 touchdowns from him?
Colin.
Colin. Colin, he threw that ball to him perfect, and he let that thing sail through his arms like he had his eyes closed. And I'm like, up, see, yep, you keep doing that, you ain't gonna make the team. What he do the next? High ball catch, boom in the corner. High ball catch,
Big
boom.
body. Yep.
To the point where they throwing challenge flags in the Hall of Fame game because they just like,
Yep.
okay, he can't keep catching the ball like this. And then what he do after that? Go down and score 2 touchdowns with him on top of that. So I think Bajent's job is questionable at this point, but it's not like he's lost it.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
And we will see the first 2 preseason games. After the first 2 preseason games, I would have more information and more insight to say, hey, look, I can go up and I can, fight for the fact that, hey, look, Bajent might not be the number 2 quarterback because Rippon is just up like the size of him, the arm of him, the balls he was throwing was nice. He was putting that ball where it was supposed to be, a lot of
Buzzing
the
him.
time. And a lot of those, I think 2 of those incompletions wasn't him. It was just drop balls by that first one we talked about from Colin, and then whoever number 47 was who dropped that one pass, but then he came down and threw a touchdown to him right up the middle. And it's like he has that fate, he know these guys. They sitting on the sideline talking to each other a lot because they're second and third stringers. So they conversing and they in there getting their little reps in with each other. And he's like, hey, look, don't worry about it. I get that feel from him when I was watching him, and I think he can fight for that QB2 spot.
I like this comment from Bearski Film. He said, "Man, it's like any job. I call in sick. Whoever they get in there, just get through the day for me. You don't got to be a special QB2. We have seen in Bears history, we've all seen enough Bears games to know where that QB2 will be is useful. It's very important for the Chicago Bears. It's rare that our quarterbacks play the entire season. Dayton always back to Cutler. I mean, go back before Cutler.
I was
You
gonna
know what I
say
mean?
even before that.
Before Cutler.
I mean, look at the NFL. What last season 60 plus quarterbacks
Mm-hmm.
started?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
60 plus. That means 30 QB2s, threes, mixed played. So your
Yeah.
QB2 is important because you got
You
to think about
need.
it. Concussion
Go ahead.
protocol is a hindrance. If your quarterback get hit hard enough or it looks hard enough and bad, a doctor who does not care about your team, does not care about the NFL or what they money or what you care about seeing your you gonna look at them, look at the hit and be like, yep, you're not playing no more the rest of the game. That could be the first quarter, second quarter, that could be the fourth quarter. And then guess what? If he goes in concussion protocol, now you know you finna not have him for this game that he got hit in and the next game. So you need somebody, like I said, Bajan went 2-2. So cool. That's what he did. But if Rippon can do better and go 4-0, you know what I'm saying? You got it. And Pose, he's a hard decision kind of guy.
Yeah, because one of those losses Bajan had was he had 4 turnovers, I think 3 or 4 turnovers against the Saints in that game, and we lost like by a touchdown or by 3 points. But Bearski Film is he dropping gems, like he said. Uh, Fucking 7-3 start. Remember that with Cuddy, and he said the Bears go on to miss the playoffs that year. I remember that. I think that's the Jay Cutler broken thumb year. That was he broke his thumb that year, and we missed the playoffs and we was balling. We was just balling. So yeah, you definitely need that backup quarterback. Brett Rippon, he played for the Rams and the Broncos, right? He did start a couple games last season for the Rams, and one of those games was against the Packers, our division rivals, and he looked horrible in that game. They only put up 3 points in that game. I do remember that, and he looked bad. So we'll see. That's a position battle we looking at. Another position battle I want to talk about is Rojo and Khalil Herbert, running back 2, RB2. Y'all know what me and Wes feel about that. How we feel about that. Obviously, we'll give our opinions, but I want Devin and Al to just jump in before me and Wes go at it and give y'all thoughts on that RB2 battle. Hold on, before y'all speak, I just want to just put one thing out there. We're gonna be monitoring this battle. Roshan Johnson is down. He's down. It's simple. Khalil Herbert is up 1-0 in the battle. Khalil Herbert had 4 carries, 35 yards, 8.8 yards per carry on Thursday. And then Roshan Johnson had 6 carries, 24 yards for 4 yards per carry on Thursday. Thoughts about the Roshan Johnson versus Khalil Herbert battle at RB2? Al or Devin, one of y'all take it away.
My thought process. I've liked Roshan. Like, I don't know what it is that made him appeal to me when we first drafted him. Maybe it was just that, like, even behind Bijan Robinson at Texas, even behind Bijan Robinson, he got pretty solid contribution. Like, his yards per carry were pretty high. He didn't carry as much because he was the second running back, but like, he made it count when he did, and I liked that. And Khalil Herbert, to me, he was doing decent last year, and then that injury where they both that game against the Commanders where they both got injured, that game set both of them back. But I feel like Roshan bounced back more throughout the season. Khalil just seemed like it was a nagging thing for a while, and he just never seemed to regain himself throughout the year. And so I don't know. Like, it's a tough decision for me, but I'm going with Roshan Johnson just because, to me, I like that he has more potential. He has more upside.
Well, I just want to let you know you pick Roshan. He's down 1-0 right now in the battle. So continue.
Okay. I mean, all I'm saying is I feel like Roshan Johnson has more potential, more upside in being that RB2. Like, Herbert probably doesn't have much experience being a RB2. He was at, like, I can't remember if he was or not earlier.
He was RB2 for David Montgomery. He led the league in yards per carry.
I was starting to think that as soon as I said it, but I don't know. Maybe after being running back 1, he wants to stick there. I don't know. But eventually he'll become more expensive than Roshan. So to me, it's kind of a no-brainer that, like, I can't really give it to Herbert because there's just not enough there for me to justify paying him as much as he would want.
Al, thoughts?
Well,
Running back 2 battle.
I like Roshan too. I think Herbert, you can do without him. I think Herbert is one-dimensional too. He's just a bruiser. You know what I'm saying? With Roshan, you got somebody that can run in between the tackles and can catch the ball. For a little guy as he is, he come with a lot. You know, he's a little guy, but he pack a punch. So I think he got more value than Herbert as of right now. So I would, if I'm the GM, I'm trading Herbert this year. I'm getting rid of him for something. I think we can do without him. I think, like I say, Roshan is literal, but he can do the same. He can run. The dude came from Texas, man. He came behind one of the best running backs in the league right now. He was behind him. Dude can play ball. Like, he's not just any old body. So, yeah, I'm Roshan. Herbert can go.
You want to throw some blocks up there, Mark? Because I feel like you're getting hit here, man.
No, because I'm not afraid to say all 3 of y'all are wrong. I'm not afraid to say that. I think the thing with y'all are y'all looking at the upside, and that's fine, and the contract, that's fine. I don't care about that because I'm talking about now. I don't think Roshan Johnson last year or this past game he has done anything to say he's better than Herbert. Like, you say he lost the juice, but honestly, from what I saw on Thursday, I thought he was a little more explosive than a little quicker I feel like y'all look at Roshan Johnson as a elusive back. He's not. He's a power back. Roshan Johnson is not an elusive guy. He's not going to make you miss. He's not going to jump cut. He's not going to, he's not a what do they call it? A scampy back, or I can't think of the word, but
scrappy.
Roshan Johnson is not that. He's a power back. He's going to run through you. He's not going to make you miss. We saw him run over that Packers player. That's what he does. He's not. Khalil Herbert is just your change of pace back. Remember when he was behind David Montgomery? He was great as your zoom and boom. David was the boom, and Khalil was the zoom that led him to a full season of play and a full season of leading the league in yards per carry. Now, Roshan Johnson, the only thing I got for him over Herbert, for real, other than, look, they're interchangeable. I don't care which one gets RB2. But I'm not going to let Bears fans put him on a pedestal like they did when we drafted him. Even Bears organization, like they touted him as the fucking I don't know. They just was overhyping this 4th round pick. I know y'all heard it. We all watched the fucking draft and press conferences. They propped this kid up like he was something huge, and I just don't see it. I see a RB2, a power back RB2, not a elusive back like y'all trying to make him out to be. I don't know where y'all got the quick feet, where y'all seen his quick feet. All I know is 8.8 yards per carry on Thursday on less carries, and Roshan Johnson had 4. What's up?
I think you're over the line to yourself. Just in the sense of you just got Khalil Herbert, like you said, he was here. This is what he's supposed to be. Herbert is not still here. Just like Eddie Jackson. Everybody want to remember the heyday of Eddie Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was here, and then now by the time he left us, he wasn't even tackling people. And the same thing with Herbert. He had a Hall of Fame game. He looked nice, but there was some big holes he got. Not gonna lie, like I said, it was some double door holes he got. So yes, I'm sure his stats look a little bit better.
What about the play? Because when we on 4th and 1 and Roshan couldn't go get 1 yard, wasn't that him at the running back? He couldn't go get 1 yard.
That was Herbert too.
Oh my god,
that was Herbert too last season.
8.8.
That was Herbert too. Hall of Fame game. I'm talking about last season. Herbert couldn't get 1 yard.
I'm talking about recently. You're only as good as your last game. You're only as good as your last game.
All right, that's
you acting like this Hall of Fame game was like some big deal.
But that's all we got to go with. Y'all act.
No, that's not.
We got what we got.
You just talked about him being the backup to Montgomery,
which wasn't even
leading in this and leading that. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
He was unavailable last season.
Yes, he got
when
hurt.
He did come back and so did Roshan. But when he came back, Roshan was better than him.
No, he was not. No, he was not. I'm going to show you the stats. Roshan didn't have any 100-yard games last year. I think Khalil had 2 after the injury. But continue. I'll find it. I'll find the games.
You can find it. And then, like I said, if you want to talk about it in the sense of what's best for the team, you have to add in the contract. You got to add in.
Yes.
Is he worth it? Just like we talked about Keenan Allen, who had 6,000-yard seasons, but we're talking about maybe he shouldn't stay, just given his age and all that kind of stuff. So, like Al said, and you said they're interchangeable, so why not invest in the younger, cheaper version?
My thing, you got to remember what my whole thing is. You're not going to I'm not going to allow Bears fans to act like he's just better than Khalil, because it's not true. I think what Bears fans do, we confuse ourselves, and I think we need to realize we need to reevaluate what we call good, because we've said the Bears are going to be good the last 2 or 3 seasons based off what we've seen in the offseason. Maybe our criteria on what we think is good is truly not good, because the Bears have not been good when we thought they were going to be good. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Hey, dude, let me ask you. Can I ask y'all a question? So Roshan was a number 2 back in college, right?
We ain't talking about college, but
I'm just saying.
I'll
I'm
let you bring
just
your
saying.
college
I'm using the
stuff in.
same. I'm using the same transition to the NFL. He's
Yes,
he's a
sir.
good number 2 back. He was 1,000-yard
Yep.
rusher in college. I just don't see Herbert as being as. I just think we can get something in return for our investment right now. He's not gonna miss He's not gonna be missed.
But I don't think Roshan will be either. That's my point. I don't think.
No, that's not your point. You keep saying that's your point, but you keep on
hold on,
focusing so hard on Herbert, and you keep saying
no,
they're
because
but that's
I'm
not how
playing.
You
hold on.
feel.
That is my point because I'm playing devil's advocate. I've been saying that to Wes this entire time, right? I've not shied away from that. I think their value at RB2 is the same, but my thing is we are overdoing Roshan, and yeah, I will take. If y'all three are going to act like Roshan is just this world beater, yes, I will take that stance on Khalil Herbert's side. Yes, every
But
time.
that's
I
Every
have
single
never
time.
once said that Roshan is this world
That's
beater.
not. That's not
You're
what
putting
we
words in our
said.
mouths because none of us have said that.
You said who will we prefer? Would you want Roshan or do you want Herbert? And I said I would take Roshan over Herbert.
And your reasoning for it was because you said Khalil Herbert lost the step, correct?
Khalil Herbert, he lost the step, didn't really come back. You could see that Roshan can do exactly what Khalil Herbert can do. He's younger.
How? We didn't see that on Thursday. We didn't see it, and we didn't see it last season. So when are we going to see Roshan Johnson take this position that we are trying to force down his throat? Because he's not taking it. He's not.
He didn't. Like I said, I even showed it. Go back, dude. Go back to the podcast. I even gave the stats that he had more touches. That Herbert had more touches than Roshan. He had more touches, more opportunities than Roshan. But with the opportunities that Roshan, I did the math. If the opportunity was equal and we just set them in a grid, and let's just say Herbert had 50 and Roshan had 25. Percentage wise of what they had done, if Roshan had those 50, he would have been ahead of him. I didn't say he would be 2 leagues ahead of him, but he would be ahead of him. So, and when we talked about it, we talked about who would you want to be backing up? Would you take Herbert? Or I said I like Roshan better. I think if he had the opportunity, that he would be better. He would have the same, or if not better, on par. It would be cheaper for us because that's what Pose was doing. We just said Pose is building a younger bet. Like that's what we're doing. We don't want some old battered person.
So when you speak on your reasoning for Roshan, speak on the organizational value. Don't start speaking on field play because Roshan has done nothing for any of y'all to love him this much. That's what I'm saying. And it was the same with Justin, though. I asked y'all the same question. What has Justin done to make you love him? So Bears fans get these, they fall in love with these players and they put them over the top. And they really haven't done much for us.
Justin has the opportunity. He had the opportunity. I don't think Roshan had the opportunity.
You don't think Roshan had the opportunity? So who was the backup running back when Khalil Herbert went down?
It was Blasingame and Deontay Foreman
for one game.
Yeah, Foreman.
That was for the
fact
fourth
they were
quarter.
both down.
That was for the fourth quarter of that game.
When Khalil Herbert went down.
Yeah. Roshan hasn't been a true number 2 back yet. Talking about true number 2 back. Not yet.
All I'm saying is when I look at these two dudes, I see. This is what I see. Roshan is more of a power back, and I think y'all feel like he's more explosive. I don't feel that way at all. It's a reason Khalil Herbert takes punt returns and kick return snaps. You won't see Roshan back there because he's not that explosive to be able to do that. Am I correct? Do you guys agree on that or no? What's
Velus Jones back there, man. That's why.
Velus Jones.
Hold on, man.
And I'm glad you mentioned Velus Jones. Velus Jones is by far our most explosive player, and you don't see that, do you? You don't think so?
You can be.
You think because he can't catch the punt? Go ahead, Al.
He can run. He's a great runner. He can't catch. If you can't catch the point,
Devin, can you pop up comments, please? Because I'm missing on the comments.
I
Go
got
ahead,
you.
Al. My bad. Go ahead, Al.
I'm just saying this guy's he's a liability, man. Velas, man. Velas done put us in bad positions plenty of times.
Yes,
I don't.
yeah.
I mean, all we gotta do is catch the ball. I mean, you fast as lightning, but if you can't catch the ball, what are we doing, man? What are we doing?
I agree. But let's remember that Vela's gonna make this team for one reason, because he's our most explosive player, and they're gonna put him on kick return. They're going to. That's why he didn't play in the Hall of Fame game, because they're going to put him on kick return.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say because Poles drafted him.
Exactly. That's the reason he don't want to say it.
Thank you.
Wait, what? Because Poles drafted him? Hold on, I've been said that.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he's still here. But guess what? That was Poles'. Hold on. Time out. Don't time out, because don't use that against Poles. And when I come at Poles for the way he restructured this team, y'all go to bat for him. You know what I mean? Don't do that, because y'all gave him an A in the draft. This is my thing. You can't give them. No, I'm just saying, because I see a lot of backtracking going on.
No, I'm just saying when
you
said it yourself. You said the reason, because I said we should cut him, we should get rid of him. You said I'm gonna tell you the real reason why. You said like that's because that's still his guy, so he's gonna give him one more opportunity.
Yes, he's going to. But two things can be true. That
is true. I'm
that
saying
new kickoff rule.
I'm just saying that I thought that's where you were going with your statement. That was all.
Right, that's all I was saying. I said
that new kickoff rule saved Velus Jones's ass this year.
We all said the same thing. We agree with you too.
Yeah, Poles like them Tennessee guys. That's what that is.
Maybe one day, Bersky. But like I said, like that was one of your biggest statements on Vita Jones, because we was saying like, hey man, he cost us games. Like and when we talk about like who did what and all of that, it is a as far as players goes, we could go grab at least more than half a dozen players to say, hey, this is the reason why. This is the reason why. We could go and look at every game and go look at that offensive line protection and watch our offensive linemen after the ball gets hiked. They're facing the wrong side of the field where absolutely no defender is at, when the entire defense is chasing Justin Fields the opposite way. We could go back and watch Justin Fields holding the ball so long with a wide open receiver, short and 5 or 6 yards. We could blame that on Justin. We could talk about Claypool not blocking for Darnell Mooney and watching him get junked like a little 5th grader after school. We could go back and talk about a lot of things with reasons why we lost games. That's why, and people like say, oh well, just love Justin Fields so much. It's like it's not that I love Justin Fields so much, but it's like I can go find some other stuff too that was detrimental. We could talk about play calling that Eberflus just was dumbfounded. It's like he just said, I don't know, go to the second play on the third sheet and run that play, I guess. We could talk about poor decisions when it's like, hey, kick the ball, get the points, and let our defense play. And instead he goes for it because he thinks he's Dan Campbell or somebody. I don't know. Like we can go through those 17 games and nitpick at a lot of things the organization did that cost us games as far as players and coaching staff. Yep. So that's what I mean. Like, and I'm not talking about, like I said, I'm not talking about Roshan like, oh my God, he's the next LaDainian Tomlinson or nothing. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's our next best option.
Like it. It sounds like it.
It's just how I would prefer him over Herbert. Like, yeah, I'm just saying he like Brooks said, he blocked better than Khalil Herbert did last season. He can catch the ball. Khalil Herbert dropped a lot of passes in the flat. Like it's a bunch of other things that I seen. He did. I mean, he did. We can go back. We can go watch. We should have a whole day of just watching the whole entire season over the whole entire every single game, and we could get some some electronic markers, and we can start circling bad plays and bad people who did bad things. Pringle was trash. Tunyon was trash. Like we could talk about all this other kind of stuff. Pass rush was trash until Montez Sweat came. You know, secondary hurt and injured, and still had the young Eddie Jackson living off his past success with the Bears out there, not tackling nobody, putting his shoulder, not even getting low enough to put his shoulder on somebody, just standing up and bumping into people. It's a lot of things we could talk about.
Yeah.
Now back to the whole Roschon Johnson. It's just a better fit for what we're doing and how we're moving. So I would take Khalil Herbert over him. And if he had the opportunities that Khalil Herbert had, and it's in the stats. Look at the stats. Look at the stats. Look at the stats.
Yep.
Look at his stats. The opportunities was less.
Hey, you guys hear that the last 4 times they played in the Hall of Fame game, the Bears made the playoffs that year?
Yes, we have.
That
is a very
a good sign.
It's a good hope. It's like a hopefully we
I mean,
keep
like
it going.
you can't look at it and be like, well, we're definitely gonna make the playoffs now. Like, no, it just so happens that that's how things have played out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is? I'm trying to read the comments over here too. Okay, we want for Ryan Poles.
I'm struggling right now. I'm having technical difficulties. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you, Wes, but my shit is screwed up right now. I'm trying to get back into the conversation.
Yeah.
As much as I can. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Mark, what you said?
Yeah. He said, Mark, what you said, field play, but I think you look at the overall situation. Look, I get the situation. I get it. It's like it's like saying we drafted a rookie running back. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
It's like we drafted a rookie running back this year saying, oh, he's in a better situation than I don't know, fucking anybody who's still on up for a deal. It's a lot of guys that's up for a deal in a year or two. But situation-wise, yes, it's fine. Roschon can have RB2. He can have it. I don't care. But my thing is stop. Stop with the praise. I don't like the hype. I hate hype. I hate it. Everybody who knows me, like in my personal life, I don't like hype because hype is bullshit, and it usually turns out to be bullshit. And that Roschon Johnson hype, come on, don't act like we didn't hear the hype about this dude when he was drafted in the 4th round. The hype needs to stop. He's not going to be.
Well, Mark, that's all the hype the Bears running back because most of our running backs are 4th and 5th rounders. So we hype. I mean,
Khalil Herbert's not hype.
Herbert got the same hype.
No, he did not. No, he did not. Are you serious?
All those guys got hype. We do good drafting running backs in the late rounds. So
hold on. So Khalil Herbert and Roschon Johnson's hype was the same when they were drafted. We ain't all agreeing on nothing, but y'all all agree on that.
No, I think the hype wasn't even about like his own field playing. I think it was more of the fact that it was looked at. I remember the draft. It was looked at during the draft as like a kind of a steal, like a passover because he wasn't a starting running back, and it was like, hey, look, he was a backup, and this is what he still did. Maybe this is a steal. Like, it happens. A bunch of players get that whole tag of, oh man, that's a steal. We didn't think he would go in this. Oh my God, he dropped so far down, and I can't believe so many teams passed up on him. You know what I mean? I think that was the hype with him.
He put up starter numbers as a running back too. Like Wes was just saying, he put up numbers as a backup.
Where?
At Texas.
Okay, why are we still talking about Texas?
Because that's really all the tape. That's really the tape that we got to go off of. Because the Bears haven't let him. They haven't put him to the test yet, like we want him to be.
He ain't a rookie. He's not a rookie. Let's put this out there now. He's not a rookie. So stop talking about like he was just now. This is his first season. He has an NFL season under his belt we can look at. We don't got to keep going back to Texas because we've seen them in the NFL. Guys don't play the same. This is a different game. So we can stop going back to Texas.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about what he did last year. What they did last year. Let's throw numbers out the window. Let's throw numbers out the window. And Devin, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man, in the chat because I didn't lost focus. Now I knew this was going.
I'm just saying, what did he have? How many carries he had last season? I think it was something around 60.
For who?
Maybe.
Which guy?
I think it was Roshan. I think he had like maybe. I don't got my notes.
We got enough. We got enough guys on this right now. Somebody can find the numbers that we need to find. I'm looking it up right now. He had 81 attempts last year, 352 yards, 2 touchdowns. Khalil Herbert. A little longer on Khalil Herbert. But look, I won't look at the stats. I'll keep talking to you. Look, I think, and this happens all the time, I take a stance and I take a side and my side gets misunderstood. All I'm saying is don't give this man
Whoa,
okay.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Talk to me, Al. You found something?
So Justin Fields, our quarterback, had more rushing yards than Khalil Herbert.
Duh. Correct. He usually has more rushing yards. Hold on. Don't do that. Like Justin, he didn't have almost.
I'm just saying they both had around 600. They had around 600 some yards.
Okay, what about the year before? He almost broke the rushing yard record. Don't do that. That you can't. That does not apply.
But I'm just saying, we're talking about a running back number one.
Oh my God, Wes, can you tell this man that don't apply? You know better than that.
Nah, we not. We ain't gonna bring Justin in like we don't bring Lamar Jackson in.
Exactly.
But the thing is, it's like, look, I think Beresky just put in Herbert 132 attempts, 611. That's I mean,
that's nothing.
That was last season, and he had closer to 400 with 80 something. That's 50 plus more. Like same amount. Like.
So let's compare that to NFL top rushers for last year. Compare that to the NFL top rushers for last year and put him in. See where he fit in with the top 10 rushers of last year.
And that's still with both of them being injured, both of them missing games, both of them missing time. And that's all I'm saying.
My thing is Roshan is mediocre at best as of right
now. So is Herbert.
But Herbert led that entire NFL that y'all trying to put him up against. He led that in yards per carry at one point. And he just went 8.8 yards per carry.
Wait.
Wow.
How are you trying to bring up when, like, did he lead it last year in yards per carry?
He did
or
it
was
in his
it
career. It's under his belt.
Huh?
It's under his belt.
So you can't bring up 2 years ago in college for Roshan.
No, I ain't talking about college because you playing against mailman.
You can bring up random stuff from years ago for Khalil. So I mean, it's not. If you want to focus on last year, if you want to focus on this game, you can do that. But
you cannot bring up Roshan Johnson playing against mailmen and future accountants and then compare it to Khalil Herbert playing against millionaires and professional football players. It don't work like that. Roshan Johnson, the stat y'all trying to bring to me.
I was just trying to bring up your point, and you're only as good as your last game.
Yeah, and what was the last game? If you're going to bring up my point, we talked about the last game.
But you were trying.
Don't switch, Devin. If you're going to try to hold my feet to the fire, stick with it. If you're going to talk about you're only as good as your last game, let's talk about that. If you don't want to talk about that. I was
pointing out that you were going back on that. Like you're predicting that concept by bringing in did he lead the entire game yesterday in yards per carry?
Yes.
I don't know. I didn't actually get a chance to watch the game.
Ain't nobody had 8.8 is insane. Ain't nobody else had 8.8.
8.8
correct me if I'm wrong. I ain't even got to look. I just know 8.8 is crazy.
8.8
I could be wrong.
Outlier type of game.
Okay, what about when he did
anybody that watches football regularly knows that you don't get 8.8 if you're utilized throughout a full game.
Okay, so what about when he led the entire league for an entire season? It's not like that was the only time he done it. He did it for an entire season.
Well, then
Look,
you're contradicting your whole concept of.
No. I'm building my case as much as good as I can. You can poke holes in it as you do, and that's what you're supposed to. If I say one thing and I say another thing, everything is to build the Khalil Herbert case. You know what I mean? But look. Let's look. And I said this.
He missing some steps. Hopefully, he got it back.
Ask me if I agree. I agree. He is not the David Montgomery backup he was. But Roschon Johnson ain't either. That's my thing. It's more about Roschon Johnson being average, like regular, as mid as fuck, honestly. And we gonna put Khalil Herbert down for him. Like I don't. That's what I can't get behind. I think Roschon Johnson is regular, and if he misses games, we will still win without him, as we would with.
I have a question
Khalil
for you,
Herbert.
Mark.
What's up?
Kind of on topic. So, if for some reason if Swift goes down, would you think that Roschon and Khalil can handle the load that Swift normally would? Like the two of them would be able to kind of produce the numbers that Swift normally would?
Oh, that's okay. So, because
I don't think either one of them can handle a running back one load at this time. And that's kind of supposed to be what the running back two kind of does, steps up and takes a bigger role if running back one gets hurt, right?
That question, I mean, I don't know what y'all think. I mean, can they both do what? Because you essentially asking, can two guys do what one guy can do? That's basically what you're saying. I mean, I guess maybe.
Yeah. I mean, their career, like Bearski's putting in there, their career averages are similar. And I think you got to. I mean, that's why you have a running back two. That's why your running back one is not out there all four downs either. You need to give him a break. You need to bring in at an RB2 and not miss a step. And just like you said, if they similar, if you don't care which one is it going to be, then yeah, I think both of them combined could give us the same effects in the game that we would and should get from Swift. My point has always been, if we had to part with one, it's just a smarter decision to part with Herbert.
For sure. Look, okay, so ask me this: if I had to cut one, who would I cut?
That's all.
I would probably cut Herbert because I got Roschon Johnson for cheap for the next 2 years. But I mean, I'm not expecting it. My expectations for Roschon ain't that high. That's what it is.
Let me ask you this, Mark. When Jordan Howard was cut and Montgomery was what did you think about that? Like, he was productive. So I look at him as the same type of the caliber as Khalil Herbert. Like, you can get away without him. You don't need him. You can do Jordan Howard. When the Bears let Jordan Howard go, he was a bruiser. He was only one dimensional. And I say Herbert is the same type of caliber of back. He's one dimensional. He's a bruiser. He's not catching out the backfield.
What are we looking at? That's my thing. Why do we think Roschon is not a bruiser, but Khalil is?
Roschon got hands, though. He can catch out the backfield.
Okay, I ain't talking about receiving because anybody. They all can catch. They're all in. Trust me. Them dudes all can catch. Trust me, they can catch the fucking football. But when we talk about running the ball, elusiveness versus power back, when we talking about Alvin Kamara versus Derrick Henry, you know what I mean? That's what we talking about. Two styles of running back. Roschon Johnson is not a Kamara type running back more than Khalil Herbert. He's not. I guarantee you, if they had a foot race, Khalil would burn his ass. Roschon is not.
What type of back is Swift? If you have to compare Swift,
he's elusive. He's elusive.
To both of those, Khalil Herbert and Roschon, who would you say was more closer to Swift out of those two?
Close Herbert.
You would say Herbert is more closer to the Swift. Okay.
That's what I think. Okay. Why isn't Roschon? We've never seen Roschon Johnson catch a punt return or a kick return. We know what type of players are on.
But we're not talking about punt return and kick returns. We're
No,
talking about running the
we're
ball.
talking
Let's
about
go
running
back.
running style, athletes. Hold on. Let me get this point out. When you punt return and you kick return, you have to be fast, you have to be quick, you have to be agile. You're not gonna put, I don't care where your position is on the depth chart, you're not gonna put a bigger back, a bigger player on kick return, punt return, or none of the special teams. Guess what Roshan Johnson does on special teams? He tackles guys, he blocks for guys. You know what I'm saying? Roshan is important on special teams. We need him. We need him to block and we need him to tackle. We're not asking Khalil Herbert to block or tackle, not a soul.
Because he can't.
Because he's elusive. He's a quicker dude. Light. He don't got the fucking weight in the bridges like fucking Roshan
He got
does.
good hands. He's not a V-list. That's the only thing that he's back there. They put him back there because he can catch the ball. We didn't have anyone that can catch the ball. That's
Why Roshan won back there? If he can catch so good, receiving back, he catch so good. Why Roshan ain't ever took a kick return or a punt return?
So
Herbert can't block nobody. He ain't gonna be what you going. If you switch him, Herbert's not blocking
Ain't no switching. No, ain't no switching. If Roshan is taking kick returns or punt returns, we're not gonna put Herbert there for him. We're gonna put some linebacker or somebody else there for him. Ain't no switching.
Well, who got experience catching? Who got experience? Did Herbert catch in college? Who got experience doing it?
I'm sure he did.
Exactly. So they put the guy with the experience. I mean, he can catch the ball. We're talking about running the ball. We're talking about being behind the quarterback. That's what
Now we're talking about running the ball. I'm talking about running styles. Y'all think for some reason Roshan is a scat back. That's the word, scat back. That's what I've been looking for. Roshan ain't a scat back. He's not. He's more of a power back than a scat back. And Khalil Herbert is definitely more of a scat back than a power back. Definitely. Y'all can't see that when we watch them play and run?
No.
Okay, how many dudes Herbert ran over? You gonna see Roshan run more dudes over than Khalil Herbert run dudes over? Am I right?
Because he can't. He tried.
Because that's not his thing. He's shifty. That's why he had 8.8 yards per carry.
And that's what I'm saying. He lost a little step last season. That's why I said what I said during this offseason conversations about that. Now, like I just said, from what you said from the Hall of Fame game, hopefully he got that step back. I even texted you in it, and I was like, it looks like he lost a step because before that Herbert with that 100, that big rusher that we knew he was when he had those good seasons for us, would have took it to the house. He was one stride away from taking that ball to the house. Like you said, usually he would have took that to the house. We had this discussion when we were talking during the Hall of Fame game.
Maybe. Khalil Herbert not a world beater either. He ain't just burning dudes to the crib. Maybe he would have took it to the house, but I guarantee you Roshan wasn't. He ain't burning nobody. Roshan is not. Look.
I seen him run past a lot of people.
Yep.
I seen him run past
Khalil Herbert run past dudes too.
Exactly.
I seen Wes run past dudes.
Bearski, I appreciate in Jailbreak. I appreciate y'all sticking in the chat and putting y'all 2 cents and opinion in there. If y'all just tuning in to the Black Bear Podcast, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. This is
and that's all I'm saying.
We don't shy away from our opinions. If you got an opinion on this team, we're all Bears fans. Speak your mind. I mean what you say.
I'm with Bearski right here. He says we're splitting hairs at this point.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right. Like
honestly, I have been.
All of us have said like
more me than y'all. I've really been splitting hairs because I could easily jump on that Roshan train. Easily.
I mean, it's
really just me.
I mean, I don't even feel like I'm on a Roshan train. I'm just like I'm taking the bus to work, and it just so happens to be the Roshan bus. I'm just using it to get to work, though.
I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. If I had to put somebody at RB2, I'm putting Roshan. Give him the opportunity, give him a chance, and
give him 100 and some carries a year and see what happens.
Give him 132 and let's see if it's 611.
And guess what? I would be happy with it.
I don't know if I want to see either of them getting 132 carries this year because I want to see 132 carries going to Swift instead. You know,
Oh,
like I want
obviously,
Swift to be getting the majority of those carries.
that goes without saying, Devin. I'm just saying.
Damn, I wasn't
I'm
even
also at the
reached
point
at
of
this exact
like
time.
we probably won't have as many carries by our quarterback this year, so we'll
Yeah, no, we're definitely.
Look,
where
look. If I'm going, okay. Fuck what we think. Let's forget what any of us think. Let's go off of what we've seen from the Bears. Look, if we don't, Khalil took the first snaps with Tyson Bagent. Tyson Bagent went 2 for 3.
you're right.
Khalil hurt. You know what I mean? He was attached to that quarterback. So maybe, honestly, from what it looks like Roshan winning that battle. That's what. What y'all think?
You actually got a good point there. I mean, like they move Khalil to 3 and move Roshan to 2, and like you've been saying, neither one of them really showed enough last year to justify like moving up or anything. So when we went and got Swift, it just pushes everybody else back, I guess.
Right.
From what
And
y'all
like you,
seeing, who's winning? Who's winning so far?
if I was on bet, I'm saying Herbert's going to win an RB2 spot. I mean, he's already shown, like you said, he has seasons where
Really?
he has shown it, and I think you got to give him that chance to fight for his job. I think that's what they're doing, just like with Bajan. I'm saying like, I don't know. I think my gut is telling me that Rippon might be a better choice at QB2. But Badgett went 2-2. He won some games. He was there when we needed him. You gotta give him credit for that. But like I said, these real preseason games, where we don't have to worry about rain canceling us out, and we're gonna see them throw more than 3 balls and run more than 7 or 8 times, where we're going to see them have, whole halves, where we're going to see Bajent and Herbert versus Rippon and Roshan, and see which tandem looked better. Like, and then maybe the next game they might flip flop them and let Roshan run with Badger, and because we already know who the starters is. So we're not even arguing who's going to actually get the bulk of the games. We already know what is going to happen. We're just saying who's going to be a better fit at that RB2 when the time comes, because it's going to be mixed. It's going to be, hey, Bajan might go out there at the end of the game and throw a pick, and they're like, nope, sit down. We're not even going to give you another series to lose this game for us or to try to win this game, because we know Rippon might be right there. It's like you said, both of those positions, QB2 and RB2 right now, the people who fighting for it is really, like you said, we splitting hairs about it. But for me, it's like, who did I like seeing up in there? Who showed a little bit more? We're gonna see way more in the next 3 games. So by week 1, that pre-week 1 game conversation all 4 of us gonna have is gonna be a lot more heated than this one is right now.
Bearski Film, I would love for you to send that highlight video that you have. Might not get played tonight, but I would definitely love for you to send that video so we can check it out and see what type of coverage you had. Appreciate it, definitely. Look,
hey guys, real quick, you guys excited about the fact that the Bears are undefeated for the first time in quite a while?
I don't think we're undefeated because it don't count. It doesn't go in a box.
Well, but I mean, like, if you think about it, like a team that goes undefeated in the regular season, but if they lost in preseason, can they really claim to be undefeated?
Yes.
I mean,
yes, they can.
You know how the that old Dolphins team gets when it comes to that undefeated title that they have. They wouldn't even allow the Patriots, who went undefeated in a longer season and then lost in the Super Bowl. They said, nah, you guys weren't undefeated because you needed to win all your games. I'm like, well, I can say right now the Texans aren't undefeated. I mean,
well, look, first of all, First of all, it depends on what you're looking at it as. If you coach that game, yeah, you could put, if you were the coach of that game, you could put that win under your belt if you want. Because regardless of the players available to you, you should be able to still put together a good coach game. Which honestly, I kind of want to talk about Shane Waldron slightly a little bit. Al, I know you got to get going pretty soon, so we can start wrapping this up. But I do want to speak on Shane Waldron and just get everybody thoughts on just the vibe, not really thoughts of what we heard, just like the vibe. Because what I want to know, we have the talent, right? You know what I mean? We have the talent, but I don't think any of us want this entire season to be placed on Caleb Williams' shoulders. Can Shane are we confident that Shane Waldron will be able to draw up plays to get Keenan Allen open, to get DJ Moore? You had all these weapons at your disposal. Are we confident he can draw up plays? Because that's what it comes down to. Yeah, you got to be good as the player, but your coordinator has to put you in those situations. Do y'all think
we went out and got the good players? Now we just wonder if we got the good coordinator too.
Are y'all confident in Shane Waldron to do that?
I am looking at from what the backups did in his first preseason game. You look how efficient they was running the offense. You got guys that I never heard of looking like superstar wide receiver.
Good point.
So it lets me know that the verbiage is being interpreted correctly, and they ran the offense. We wasn't looking crazy out there like where's Waldo. They actually ran an offense. And scored points. We won the game. Come on now.
Yeah. He had Rippin. He had him looking good. I like what I saw from Rippin, Colin Johnson, and the running backs, both Roshan and Khalil. Except Roshan, he better not stutter step next time, and he better hit that hole like the power back he is, and get the first down. You know what I mean? But Shane Waldron, I did like what I saw from that offense as a whole on Thursday. Fellas, what y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get to watch a whole lot of it, but the
Are you
bit
confident?
I did get to see, because I was working, but I'm excited for what's ahead. I'm excited for the next couple preseason games to really get a chance to not only see some of the players that we haven't seen yet, but I'm going to watch the whole game because I want to see, okay, how we coach? Like, how are we coaching our offense? Because I kind of get the feeling that we know how we're coaching our defense because it's probably similar to last year, but we even have a new defensive coordinator too. So that'll be interesting to watch too. Like, are we going to kind of make some of the same mistakes we made last year? Or does this new defensive coordinator have a lot more input and make the suggestions that, okay, we're going to try something different this year?
I'm concurring with that. I have faith in Shane Waldron. Not even just based off what we saw in the Hall of Fame game, based off where he came from. You know, he was a part of that Patriots offensive staff. He was a part of that Seahawks offensive staff. And obviously, what the Patriots did all those years. So if he learned, or if he took in anything by being a part of those groups, he was
including the Rams too, right?
Yep. And even think about even how kind of like he was a part of that coaching staff that kind of resurrected Geno Smith when a lot of people was down on him too, saying, like he was on his way out of the league. I think he has the history in the sense of he knows what it takes to run a good offense. Like a lot of people say he could have been a head coach this season somewhere if he would have took a job that was out there. And from what we've seen from the second string and third string, we've seen, him go up. I mean, D'Amico and them ain't no pushovers. That
At
coaching
all.
staff ain't no pushovers. And he went at them. He ran plays that needed to be ran with the people that he has. And I don't think he's gonna put it all on Caleb. I don't think that's his goal. I don't think that's really, he's never been into a system and on none of those teams where it was, hey, I'm going to put it on the quarterback. Now,
Right.
when you have a Tom Brady who you put it out there and he's like, okay, I see what you're doing, but I see something better, so I can take over that. With Geno being like, hey, look, I'm just trying to get back into playing good professional football, and
Yep.
he showed that he can do that. And I think he'll do the same thing with Caleb with utilizing his weapons, like DJ Metcalf and all those guys that he had over there, and like, hey, look, I'm a slow, not, I don't want to say slow it down because I hate saying that about quarterbacks, because that
Right.
makes us sound like we saying that they don't know what they're doing.
Hey, I know, right? Yeah.
But put them in and like, hey, look, I'm gonna give you a ripcord. I'm gonna give you a backup parachute on every play. I want you to be Caleb. I want you to be a superstar. Jump pass if you got it out there, then do you. But don't overdo it, because it's that guy sitting right there. Take that little dink and just move on to the next play. I'm always have that available for you. We have the weapons to do it, and like we said before, we really never really had these type of weapons offensively that we could tell a quarterback that that's what you should do. You had your one or two offensive superstar, whether it was the tight end or the running backs and the Montgomerys and the Joneses back in the day and all that kind of stuff who we relied on. But now we have so many weapons where, hey, Caleb, just keep moving forward. Whether it's 1 yard, 2 yard, or 25 yards, just keep making the ball go forward. And I think that's the position that he should be putting Caleb Williams in, to where it's not always on Caleb. And yeah, let Caleb go Superman every once in a while, because he's going to. He's going to. Obviously, he is. He's going to feel that, couple, 3-4 straight completions. He's going to be like, oh, I got these dudes dead to rights, and do some Caleb Williams things. I know he is. But having that offense where, you have options, which I don't think a lot of our quarterbacks previously had an offense where it's like, you got options, whether it was coaching, players not being good at all, or players just not flat out coming to work, or whatever you want to look at it, offensive line just not being there, whatever you want to call it. But I think he's going to not make it a Caleb centric. Like, hey, you got to figure it out, man.
You got to do it yourself, right?
You got to do it yourself. It's going to be more of, here are your options. Pick a card, any card, and just go with it.
I agree with everything you just said, and that what you just that's how it should be. Like, that's how it needs to be. Caleb cannot be out there feeling like he shouldn't feel. It's like he needs to do what he was doing at USC. You know what I mean? He should feel comfortable throwing the ball 3 yards, 4 yards to DJ Moore and him creating 10 from the 4-yard catch. You know what I mean? Because he shouldn't feel like, oh, I need to throw this past the 10-yard line to get this first down. You know what I mean? So I literally do agree with everything you just said. I do got another thing. And Devin, this is kind of for you, because Tory Taylor, your boy. I think you've been vocal about Tory Taylor, but he didn't play on Thursday. Thoughts?
I was severely disappointed.
Why y'all think he didn't play? What?
But I think that it was a situation of maybe like just the fact that they didn't really have a lot of the starters out there. He is going to be a starter, and just lessening the concept for injury. I mean, that's really the only reason. I can't imagine them being like, oh, he's just so good, we don't want to let teams know that from the Hall of Fame game. Because what's the difference of letting them know 1 week earlier in the Hall of Fame game versus when you play your next preseason game a week later? I mean, at this point, the only thing I can think of is that they just didn't want to risk adding another game to his schedule for the year. I mean, 17 games is a lot. Throw in the, 4 preseason games? like 4
Will be for
preseason
us,
games,
Yep.
and then you're pushing 21 games if you play all the starters and everything, like even if it's just for half a game or something, that still adds wear and tear on your body. And I don't know what the real thought process was, but that's the only thing I can think of. I thought for sure we were at least going to get to see him out there kicking off a couple, maybe doing 1 or 2, because
Yep.
they got rid of their previous punter after they got him. So it's like very clearly this is your guy you're going with. I was expecting them to throw him out there. Maybe it's just a situation of they might not have wanted some like third string player trying to make a name for himself and taking out a punter while he's, because I mean, if you hit the punter while he's in the kicking motion, yeah, it's a flag for 15 yards. But if you injure the punter while you do it,
very dangerous.
Maybe you get suspended, but the other team loses a third string player and you lose your starting punter.
Right.
Not really a fair trade-off.
And like to what you said, like 17 game season, then you got for us 4 games, so that's 21. And then say you go into the playoffs, that's adding even more games onto that schedule. So Wes, thoughts on Tory Taylor not at least punting once?
I think it was more of a respecting your ones, all of your ones, like not putting them out there like, hey, look, we're not gonna. You're a definite, starter on our team. So we're not putting none of our definite number ones out there. And I thought about it too because I seen Kyra out there kicking and stuff, but I think he was out there more to get comfortable with the new kickoff rules.
Okay.
And if we're gonna have you kicking off, kicks the field goals too. Why not? We got you out there already. And like Tori, he was out there. He was out there, he was holding the ball and all that. And he could have been running back to the sideline trying to hurry up and get out the way and slip and fall and hurt himself. So I don't think like injury was more of the concern. I think it was respect of, hey, look, we don't want to play none of our ones. We don't want to play none of them in this Hall of Fame game. And the only reason we got Cairo out there is simply because
there's a legitimate reason.
It's a legitimate reason. We need to keep practicing it. This is a very new thing. Him punting the ball ain't a very new thing. It ain't no new punting rules that he's gonna learn to play. And I'm pretty sure they saw a lot about him, because I mean, we drafted him way, way higher than most people was even saying that he should have got drafted. And we seen what he can do. We know what he can do for a team. So we didn't need to see anything out of him at all.
He didn't need to earn his spot or prove himself. He'd already done that.
Right. And like I said, the only reason I think Cairo was out there is because just to practice that kicking off and figuring out, because it was some of the kicks I'm like, he barely touched the ball and it was a touchback. I'm like, he needs to, figure out how to pull back on his leg a little bit too, just to keep it in that targeting zone that's new and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So let him practice, keep doing that and all that kind of stuff. Let those, special teams get out there and get more practice than that. But yeah, I don't see it as a shake or a shun. And then plus they had somebody out there like, hey, this dude did do live punts before, even though he's not an actual punter. He's actually stepped in when punters were hurt and punted the ball. So likewise, we get to save a roster spot. We don't have to have 2 punters. We got somebody out there that if we get halfway through the preseason game, we don't want Torrey to play the second half. We got somebody out there that can at least punt the ball down the field and keep us going and letting us see what our 2s and 3s can do. So what's the rush? What's the hurry? We got bigger issues. So I don't think it was a bad thing. Like I said, of course, I would have loved to see him punt once. One big punt, open up the sky, make it rain. We can start calling him Thorfoot or something. He calls the weather to change, whatever, But I don't think it's a big deal. I'm happy the Hall of Fame game out the way. So
I actually got a question for you guys because I didn't really get to watch. It's really unfortunate that when I was trying to watch the game, I happened to not see every bit I watched. There was not a single kickoff. So I want to get your guys' feel from watching the game and getting a chance to see some of that. What did you guys think of the new kickoff rules or the new kickoffs now? And do you think it'll make for more lengthy returns?
It will. it would if you watched how the blocking starts off, it's not like because like a lot of kickoffs, once you get past that first little wall of people coming, it's still like
Mhm.
2 or 3 guys plus the kicker kind of trying to get an angle.
Mhm.
And with this, once you get past that first little element of guys, if you look,
Mhm.
it's like almost
Yep.
like what, one person back there after that, maybe. If
Yep.
so, if you hit that hole right and you get past that first line of guys, it's you and the kicker, and
Outta
that's
there.
gonna and you out of there. You know what I mean? And that's why that's another reason. Like we talked about Velas Jones. That's why I'm kind of like, if they call him Hedgehog, like Sonic the Hedgehog, if he can get past that first little hole, that first little set of blockers, oh, we can have a lot of kickoff returns for touchdowns from Velas. Like I said, you got to do 2 things: catch the ball, find that hole, and hit it. So you can see why they want to do it. But like I said, that's all contingent on these kickers adjusting how they kick and making sure it lands in that target zone and forcing those returns to come back.
And I'm sure there's going to be schemes like Richard Hightower, the Bears offense special teams coordinator. I'm sure he ain't showed his he didn't show his hand. He just told Cairo to just kick it, just try to get it in the box. We're not trying to scheme, kick it over to the right corner or kick it to the left, or they didn't scheme too much for that. But like you said,
Probably
Wes,
not scheming the other way either. They probably
yeah,
told him just
nah,
catch the ball and just try to run.
and see what it feels like. Fill it out. Let's see what it look
Yeah.
like you said, Wes. Once you get past that initial wall, that is off to the races. Like if you can get one-on-one with that punter, you're gonna have a smile on your face the entire time. Like Devin Hester, who got inducted to the Hall of Fame, he would have a smile on his face every time the ball was kicked. I like it though. I don't know what your overall vibe is on that, West, but I liked it. I think
I liked it. I
nice
said, like I said, you one scat back move away from getting a touchdown. One good big stiff arm, and that's it. Because that kicker, he I mean, they usually don't have a good angle on most returners in the first place, and the reason that they do get a better one,
the kickers are usually more lean players, anyways.
Yeah, like I said,
although I wouldn't want to be tackled by Tory Taylor, he seemed like a big dude.
Yeah, he is. He's giant. Have you seen him next to Cairo Santos? Did you see him next to him? It's like him dropping his kid off at school. It is ridiculous. Cairo, remember when they were standing out there before the kickoff? You see how he made Cairo look? That looked like his daddy. I'm telling, he was so. I'm like, that's so big. I'm talking about like if he put his arm out, Cairo was under. Like his like that's how the difference in size from those two. That's a big dude, and like I said, I mean, hopefully, we can get Velas Jones going on that, and we can scheme up some ways to get him up that field and let him go 1-on-1, and he do some things. Like I said, I don't see no real, like I said, other than the offensive line questions that I know we all have, and other than what we really gonna get from our defensive line, I really like this Bears team.
So, but just for Tory Taylor, just to go back just a little bit, what do y'all think of this? And because I've been hearing this around, Tory Taylor not punting because the way he punched the ball is unique, is not the same as most punters. Since the Bears do play the Texans week 2, they didn't want them to get a feel for how that ball, how it feels to feel the punt from Tory Taylor. You know what I mean? So they kept him under wraps. They kind of want to.
You bring up a good point about basically why they didn't play any of their starters, really.
Yeah,
and
Bayless didn't play. I think it's a difference to tackling Bayless on a kickoff than tackling skinny Tyler Scott. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a little harder. Hedgehog or whatever. He's a little more stocky than Tyler Scott. That's because Bayless didn't play. Other than that, like, why aren't you playing Bayless? Bayless should be getting every rep he can get. You know what I mean? But we do play the Texans week 2. And if Tory Taylor is going to be the weapon and his kicks do feel, if his punts do feel different, I think that was a little gamesmanship going on from Matt Eberflus.
I mean, if that's true, then that makes the Bears
Just a
coaching
thought.
decisions even smarter than what they would have been in the past. Like in the past, they might not have thought that far ahead and said to themselves, we shouldn't do this because in a month we're going to be playing this team again. Like,
right.
I don't see that coming from previous, I don't know, like previous coaching staffs, previous teams, really, like looking ahead and trying to scheme and plan. And it could be Hightower coming to Eberflus and saying, hey, this is my suggestion, and maybe taking those suggestions now, as opposed to last year he was not taking as much suggestions. Who knows? But I can definitely see a difference in how they handle certain situations.
And I think a lot of teams going to have to do that because, as we spoke on it all offseason, special teams has become just that more important now. You know, your special teams coordinator is going to have to earn his job. Like, it's not, 80% of returns is not being returned back. The percentage of those things is going to drop. And just being like really ready. I saw Bersky films and I said why Herbert was out there, because Herbert is second string. He's RB2. He's not that's why he was out there. Velus Jones is still considered the number one returner for us. So in special teams language, he's our KR1.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So no, like I said, we just talked about why Torrey Taylor wasn't out there and why because on special teams they are. He's the P1. He's the punter one. So no, he's not out there. Velus Jones is KR1 or PR1. So he's not out there. And like I said, the only reason I think Cairo was out there kind of was just to kind of get more of a feel for the new ruling and to just get as many reps as figuring out it and going back and looking at it like, yeah, what did you feel about that kick? It kind of went this way, that way. I kind of just was kind of told it a little bit. I think I need to put more foot, whatever the conversations is going to be. And I think that's why Cairo was like the only real true, like, number one roster spot that was out there. It's because we still need to get those new kickoff return reps in as much as possible because it is a very new thing for every single team, and we want to be the best at it so we can take advantage of it too.
And like you said, like it's all about Cairo being out there. It's all about getting him familiar with how this new rule will, how he's going to go about kicking that ball off. And I'm sure there's some starters that didn't play. There's some players that didn't play. That's probably going to be on that kickoff rule. Like Sanborn is a prime candidate. He didn't play. He might be out there. You know what I mean? Cairo, and he was doing first of all, I don't think you can ever have enough field goal reps. If they get him out there, go kick the field goal. You know what I mean? Kick it. Cairo's was excellent for us last year. Not saying he needs it, but you can never have too much. So that's probably another reason why Cairo was out there. Do y'all got any other major Bears news y'all want to touch on before we wrap this up? If y'all wondering where Al went, Al had to bow out a little bit early today. He basically stayed the whole show, but yeah, he's gone for the rest of the show. Y'all ain't no more nothing y'all we haven't touched on that we forgot about.
No, I mean, we didn't really talk a lot about the defense and what we've seen. We talked about what they did, mainly Montez Sweat and the defensive line against offensive line. We didn't talk about how great our linebackers are playing out there and what we're seeing from them guys. Like I said, a lot of those cornerbacks, the secondary that's stepping up. Like I said, there's a lot of dudes out there that I'm watching, that I've been watching the Hall of Fame game, and I'm like, okay, I'm liking what I'm seeing. They was out there playing hard. They had some miscues in the secondary as well. So, I would like to talk a little bit more about them.
Okay. No, go ahead, Wes. I'm going to cut you off.
No, I'm just saying in a sense of we talked a lot of we gonna keep talking about Caleb in training camp and in this
course.
offseason. We're gonna keep talking about him in practices throughout the season, all that kind of
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
But I just don't want to lose sight of how really, really good our defense is. Like we have some questions on that defensive line for sure. Like who's going to actually make that leap as we talked about previously. But in that secondary, I mean, with Gordon not playing, being out,
He's been out.
they're still balling like they not
Yes.
missing a step, and they're not.
Yes.
And I think if we want to talk about giving Roshan praise and all these other people, we have to give that defense and that secondary praise of playing so consistently, just like together, like no matter who's down, who's out, like you wouldn't even know who didn't play because all you hear is, man, they 3 picks, and you like, oh man, it had to be a one. I think JJ got one and Kyler had to get one. If you didn't know who got it, that's what you'd be saying. But when you look at it, you like, I don't know who number 31 Jones is, but he caught that pick up there.
But
He got that. He's doing that. And those guys gonna be coming in those nickels and dime packages. And I'm happy that they're gonna be coming in, especially when we have to get in a scenario where we want to protect the lead. When we can't really get that pressure because Montez Sweat is double teamed and all that kind of stuff. Well, we got enough people out there covering so good and well enough to where they batting down balls and they're getting picks and they're turning the ball over, showing them, that why they deserve a spot on this 53. So I really just wanted to throw that out there and like give praise to that defense. And it's been since, we drafted Caleb and Jalen Johnson said, like we gonna get at him. We gonna get at him. He got to come to be prepared. And it's like the rest of the defense has said the same thing. And they're all one big, cohesive element of he's going to have to get better to beat us in order for us to win games.
That last comment, Devin, you want to toss that back up there? That last one.
Yeah.
I just want look. Like I said, I like to show love to the fans. Appreciate you, Bearski Film. Look, I didn't know you had your own show, your own podcast. Definitely would love to have you on as a guest at some point. Just pick your brain as a Bears fan, and definitely have either of us, myself, Devin, Wes, or even Al come on your show and integrate a little bit. I would be open to it and see what your fans are looking like and give my 2 cents to them, and definitely looking forward to collaborating in the future. Appreciate you being here with us. I do got a question though. So you mentioned the defense, Wes. So the defense was good last year, though. You know what I mean? The defense in the offseason. But when we did start the season, those first 4 games that we lost, we weren't amazing. You know what I mean? We definitely struggled big time, mainly with like things like sack percentage and stuff, pressures and stuff like that. But we struggled overall as a defense. You think we're gonna have that slow start again, defensively this year?
I don't know. Devin wanted to go first. I kind of.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the reason we had the slow start last year was like I'm very big on like continuity and like familiarity. And for me, the biggest problem was like 50% of our defense last year was coming in new. Like, how you gonna be like? You need to know. Like TJ needs to know where Tremaine tends to kind of like migrate to, tends to move over a little bit to his left right as the ball is snapped. And so TJ has to kind of make sure that he goes to his left or he goes to his right to kind of cover that area or something.
Make up for it. Yep.
That's something that they built with time. Throw in Montez Sweat and you're putting more pressure on that quarterback. Like we weren't putting good pressure on. We didn't have our offensive line was a major problem at the beginning. Our offensive line improved drastically when we got Montez Sweat. And I feel like that, I mean, and the development, I think, and the growth of Tyreek Stevenson, those first few games, he just was looking like a rookie cornerback out there. He was getting burned by veteran wide receivers and stuff like that. Like he was looking like a rookie. Towards the end of the season, he was not. He was looking like a guy who's been in the league 2-3 years. She kind of knew his ins and outs.
Yep.
And the fact that that's what he looked like at the end of his first year, I can only imagine what he's going to look like for his second year. Like, I don't think we come out to as slow of a start defensively, because I feel that we've kept a lot of our key players. I mean, yeah, we lost who was it? Jones or not Jones? Billings on our line.
Justin Jones, yeah.
Justin Jones. Okay, I knew that we lost somebody. We don't have Ngakwe right now, and I mean, there's always that possibility we end up getting him again,
right?
Because I think he's still a free agent right now. But like, the situation I'm looking at is we have a lot of our core pieces still, so I don't think we're in that bad of shape as far as like familiarity with each other, the camaraderie that you see out on that field, like joking around with each other, like giving shit to the offense and stuff like that. To me, that's a team that knows how to play with each other. I see that as being the way that we start off to a better start this year. At least that's how I'm hoping, because I attributed so many of our struggles last year with not only with familiarity, but also with availability. We had a lot of like weird little like 1 or 2 game injuries that people were dealing with. And if we go into this start of this season healthy, familiar with each other, I think we start off a lot better than we did last year.
Slow start, yes or no, Wes? What you thinking?
I don't think so either, and I gotta concur with what Dev is saying. Like, even like TJ and Tremaine, like when they came in, Sanborn was the experienced guy.
He wasn't he? Yep.
He was that experienced. He was the one that was like, hey, I was a linebacker here last year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nobody else wasn't. You know what I mean?
I mean, Sanborn and TJ did play with each other back in Wisconsin, right? I believe so. They had 1 year together.
Yeah,
so there was a little bit there, but
yeah, but
not,
like I said, I'm just in this system and playing with each other with this faster pace, professionally speaking, all that kind of stuff. Really, really young secondary. As far as Jalen, 1 year now, the next year now he's the quote unquote vet. Without Eddie Jackson being there, and like I said, I criticize Eddie Jackson for not bringing back that oomph he gave us, from the reason why we love him, and he was kind of lacking on top of that. And then, like I said, we did miss pieces on that defensive line that was familiar with people, and they were just trying to figure it out. But I think the most important thing that we didn't hit on is we got to remember our fucking defensive coordinator skipped town after week 2 or 3. He was gone. We had a whole.
I think it was week 2
or 3. Like in the door, it was like, okay, so now what are we doing, and who we listen to now? Are we doing the same thing that he was telling us to do now? So I think it was that a real big recovery stage, that first half of the season, and which is a testament to our coaching staff and our front office and all those guys kind of not taking too long to address a lot of issues and try to get us back into a competitive defensive scheme or team or defensive side of the ball, because it turned around really real fast. If you ask me, it could have been tragic. Like it could have been that way the remainder of the season, and just kind of just gave up and let guys down and things like that. But
I guess we just got tank and then get top of the draft picks.
Yeah, we could have went about it a totally different way, but that's a big testament to TJ and Tremaine putting in that work to get that cohesion together with them and Sanborn, with Brisker and Gordon and JJ kind of taking the bulk of it and getting back into good health and playing very, very well and showing out. Like I said, to pose for, hey, pulling that trigger and going to get Montez Sweat, I have to do something to mitigate this too as well. And
that took some balls.
You know what I mean? That was a big move, because he, like I said, he saw how Tremaine and TJ was playing. He talked to those guys. He see that they was trying to improve, and he didn't want to let those guys down either. He saw how the younger secondary was like, hey, look, he looked at them like they young, man, and they trying to work and they trying to get at it. But you only can cover for so long, right? And what can I do to help these guys out? all right, let me spend a little cash real quick. Let me write a little check, and get this pick up out of here and get somebody I know who just, who is just a monster on the edge for another team. If I can get him, oh, y'all gonna give me to him. All right, cool. Pose love to jump on people he looking at, and he will
Mm-hmm.
pay. And he will pay
Mm-hmm.
if he know it's gonna make his team better. So, like I said, that in its entirety just shows how quickly we can make moves and changes and all that kind of stuff. And I just hope we can do the same when it comes to trying to wiggle out and fix out these other issues that we're having, or any issues that we might have in the future. Like, let's attack it now. Let's not wait. Let's not see what the league gives us or what the football gods should drop on our laps. Let's go out there and be proactive, and make ourselves a better team every week if we can. If it's a trade or a signing we can make the next following week because somebody's unhappy or we see a good opportunity, bring them in. Let's get them started now. Let's think about, keep building and keep getting better. So I thought that's what they did on the defense. I feel like that's what we kind of did a lot of in the offseason for the offense. And yeah, we got some rough edges and refine some things, but that's what I think that made the biggest difference in our defense last season was, not that cohesion not being there and building that. But I think the biggest part was losing our defense coordinator just out of nowhere, out of the blue, and not for a real reason or rhyme that we all can put a finger on and say why.
And I look, I agree with both of y'all. I don't foresee a slow start, and there were reasons for that slow start, like you said, losing that coordinator. And I know you said week 2 and week 2 or 3, whatever. Alan Williams, right? Alan Williams, defensive
Yeah.
court. He was done after the week 1. He was with us for the Green Bay game, and we didn't hear from him since. So, like you said, that defense spent all training camp and off season listening to this voice, listening to this dude call the plays and what he likes and how he wants you to position yourself in whatever position you're playing. Eberflus was trying to be a CEO head coach. He was trying to oversee the entire thing. Now he's definitely more focused on the defense, but I think I don't foresee a slow start. I think Kyler Gordon, that was another guy. I think he broke his hand in the training camp and missed like the first 6 games or something like that. Kyler Gordon is our starting slot corner. I know we've had some dudes step up and play well, but look, we was definitely not 100% the first 4 games or early on in that season. But yeah, so I agree. I don't foresee a slow start, especially when Kyler Gordon get back healthy and we got a full unit back there. I do got one more question for y'all, unless y'all got something else before we get up out of here. And we're gonna stick with the trenches. That O-line. I know we talked about it already, but that O-line is either banged up, playing poorly, or whatever criticism you got for the O-line is there. Do y'all think, and we saw this last year, and I think that's a fact. I don't think there's too many disagreements on that. They didn't play Justin a couple times. I feel like they didn't play Justin in a couple times in the preseason because of that O-line, the health. Do y'all think the state of our O-line right now will keep Caleb Williams out of that Bills preseason game?
I don't think so. I think the way that they're going about this is in the sense of we can work on running.
Mm-hmm.
We can work on some RPO, some shifting of things. I think they're gonna play it more safe. It won't look like traditional football right away if they feel like that's a concern. I don't think they're going to rely on that offensive line to protect us as much. I think they're going to utilize a lot more of the tight ends as well, especially with Swift back there, blocking for him a little bit. I think they're going to work on a lot of short game stuff just to get, because I don't think it does us any justice not playing Caleb.
Yeah.
And if Poe's shown what Poe's has shown, he learns fast. And what we did to Justin Fields last offseason did not help Justin Fields during the season at all. So I doubt if he gives Flus the green light to say, hey, I'm gonna play him one series and then sit them all down. I'm gonna play them one quarter, so because it's other stuff. Like I said, there's other stuff the offense can work on. Like I said, running the ball, screen plays, Douglas,
Just
things
getting the
that
call in.
getting a call in, getting
Mhm.
up to the line, hurry up, cadences, try to do some of that tricky stuff on 3rd and 4, and
Mhm.
get them out there. Let him work on that stuff. I don't think you have to necessarily put Caleb in a dangerous place where he could possibly get injured, but you can work on a lot of other things. And like I said, Justin Fields could have worked on a lot of things in an offseason that had nothing to do with him scrambling and getting sacked
100%
and all
agree.
that kind of stuff. He could have been doing other stuff. We could have worked on the fucking screen passes all fucking preseason and made sure we had those down, like RPOs and shuffle passes. Things, like simple, quick things just to get it. Like, cause it's the preseason. Winning the game don't win you the Super Bowl. So why not? Even if you're going 4-and-outs, we working on this series. We're gonna work on this. We're gonna keep working on it. We're gonna show them what we just showed them last series, and we want you to go out there and do a hard count, fake color, boom, 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 where you finna flip it. Like Caleb was saying, like, let's work on stuff, like let's go out there and we want to give the defense what they think we're gonna do. But I want you to go out there. You're going to audible. You're not going to run a play. I want you to go out there. I want you to go out there, call the play. Know you're going to audible. Look at the defense. Show them looks. Go out there and go out there and call that audible and shift that play, because we already know we're going to shift the play anyway, no matter what they do, because we're going to practice just getting that down and getting that right and stuff like that. Like I said, it's a lot that we can work on with Caleb Williams on the field during these preseason games. That does not necessarily mean we have to put him in a dangerous situation.
Devin,
one of the things that I remember them.
Go ahead. You good?
What's up?
No, you good. I just wanted to know one thing.
One of the things I remember them.
They put Caleb in those starters. They didn't play on Thursday, but to what you were saying, just get them any type of experience. They put them through the entire pregame routine on Thursday, like as if they were playing. I just want to put that out there. Go ahead, Devin. My bad.
So one of the things that they mentioned, at least a few times I'd heard it mentioned, that one of the things that the offense has excelled at is the 4-minute and 2-minute drills, like marching down the field quickly and stuff like that. That is an area where I've heard that they have had success. Some of the other areas, not as much, but just hearing that makes me a little excited, because that's some of the areas that we've struggled before. And I'm thinking, like, okay, like my normal self is like, okay, well, what happens if we try to do that, like, even when there's 14 minutes left in the first quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does that work if we do a 2-minute drill to try and march our way down the field to score quickly? Like, does it work out well? Does it fail? Does it just kind of like not seem as special when you don't have that ticking clock weighing on you? But like, those are the types of things that you can really work on them and test them out anytime, about trying to be more efficient, about getting through things, marching your way down the field, taking the quick passes and stuff like that. And those are the types of things that you don't need the offensive line to hold very long for, because you're trying not to eat up as much time. You're not waiting for things to develop more. You're focusing more on what's going on, like trying to hurry up and get through it quickly. That might be something that they decide to work on a little bit in these preseason games, to still give Caleb a feel for what's going on.
Situational football. Look who it is. Look.
Mama Blue.
Look at it. Situational football for sure. Yeah. And then that go kind of like Wes was saying, just things outside of Caleb physically having to throw the football. You know what I mean? Or read a defense, or handing the football off, getting in the huddle, commanding the huddle. You know what I mean? Which with your team. So look, me personally, I'm worried. Look, I would like Caleb to play. Like, so let's just say because Nate Davis hasn't been healthy, right? We all know that. Nate Davis hasn't been playing. And we know Darnell Wright didn't practice today. Say come Saturday, Darnell Wright, your right tackle's out, and then Nate Davis is still out. Would you put Caleb out there for your not just to hand the ball off? I'm saying like a normal, like see your rookie, you know, like 10 pass plays type game. Let him throw the ball. Would you put him out there? Right tackle missing, right guard missing?
Yeah. Because if we're gonna play history, what if they still be missing week 4? You're not gonna play Caleb because they're not playing week 4. You're gonna do it in week 7 or week 17 because they're gone. You're gonna play Caleb, right?
Yes, sir. Good point.
So you got to. And like I said, I've given my kind of schedule of what I would like to see. Like I said, I would like to see first game, multiple series.
Yep.
Maybe a quarter if we can get a whole quarter out of them, but 2-3 series out there with whoever the offensive line is, because hey, stuff happens, but he has to be prepared to play with this bad O line. He has to. He got to be prepared to play. If this is what we got, you got to be prepared for this.
Yeah,
you got to be prepared for this. It's not like some great left tackle or some Jason Kelsey ain't finna unretire and come and say, "Hey, Caleb, I see you need some help. Let me come help you out." Bro. Like, we're not gonna get, nothing like that's gonna happen. So you have to go with what you got. And you have to keep playing. And hopefully they come back healthy and whatever. We can work them in and things get better and we wipe our sweat off our forehead. Like, whoo, that was a close call. But what if they don't? What if they're not ready week 1? Week 2, week 3, week 4. What if they play week 1 and then they injured and they out for 4 more weeks and we have to go week 2 through 5 without them? Is you gonna say, "Oh, Caleb, no, we can't put you out there until Nate Davis come back"?
Right.
We can't put you. No, we have to be prepared for what we got. So put them out there. Go with the plan. Like, hey, it's next man up anyway. We were only gonna give you 3 series anyway. Second game, you're gonna get 1 quarter anyway.
Do you trust Eberflus? Do y'all trust the coaching staff to think like we thinking?
I don't know about
Eberflus? Nah.
I don't trust him to think about the offense.
You missing your right guard, you missing right tackle. We know what we would do. Do you think the Bears would still?
I trust Shane Waldron.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I trust him. And it's less detrimental than losing your left tackle and left guard, the blind side. At least the 2 people that you're missing is on the side that he's going to be looking at most of the time when he snaps the ball. He's right-handed. He's going to be looking at that left and that right and left guard. If it was your left tackle and your left guard, it's kind of like now you blinding them with no protection.
I mean, if we miss in the left tackle, then Mark is pretty happy there. So,
but right, So, but I'm just saying that it could work. But in the whole scheme of it, like I said. What else you gonna do? Like what else you like? You gonna he needs those reps. He needs those reps.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? Stop him from doing it?
Sit back and sit him out the whole season because somebody gets hurt.
You were right. If that was the case, you could have. You got to. You got to.
Might as well have drafted a quarterback in the 3rd round instead of the 1st.
Exactly. Left Justin Fields out there to run around because he used to it. I don't know. But my whole thing is you got to play who you got. And when these preseason games, go with your plan. Go with your plan just like you would play if every single person was there, every single person was healthy, and everything was going according to plan. This is who Pose gave you. Now play with him. Excuse me. And that's my whole thing on it. Now, do I trust Eberflus? Preseason, yeah, I don't know, because his job is kind of on the line. So
Eberflus,
yeah, because it's kind. Thank you. It's kind of his. That's only I don't trust Eberflus. Everybody else got a little bit more rope than he do. But I trust Shane Walden. I trust Shane Walden to say, "Hey, look, this is who knows when it's gonna get better? Because we don't know. We don't even know when they coming back. We don't know, why they not actually playing. So if you get to that game and you're like, he's not playing, so we're not gonna play the quarterback, that makes no sense. And you already, like I said, previously last season, you got bit with not having continuity with your team. You gotta put him out there. You gonna not play Caleb, but you're gonna play Adunze and Keenan Allen. Then you might not play none. You might as well not play none of them. You might as well take all your weapons out and play a second string if you're not gonna play Caleb.
I agree. I think that if they should play, you're gonna have. I don't think the O-line will be healthy all season, like you said, Wes. So you got to get used to playing that. And they've been playing Ryan Bates and Coleman Shelton at center, both, so he can get used to both of them. So he got to get used to all these guys. I'm just not so sure the Chicago Bears are gonna put him out there if they feel his guard. I like to call him the Royal Guard. I don't think that he'll put him out there if they're not 100% healthy, which is beyond me. But we already know Chicago Bears organization, even with this new regime that we all respect, they still do things that just puzzle us sometimes. So we'll see. Come Saturday, the Chicago Bears will be playing the Buffalo Bills, and we're gonna see if Caleb Williams August 10th in that O-line. We'll see if they're healthy enough to go out there and play. Any last thoughts? Any last words? Any shout outs y'all fellas want to get out? We had the chat was on fire today for our return.
It really was. We had some very, very big personalities there in the chat, and I'm loving it. I mean, I know that we had John in there early on. John was the Texans fan that was with us John a handful of weeks ago.
Damn, I forgot. I was supposed to show him a little more love.
At first, I wasn't entirely sure because John could be a common name, but the more he was talking about over the last 2 seasons and stuff, I was like, oh, that's him.
I forgot, and we played his team. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. I would have messed with him a little bit. I forgot.
I saw him. I wanted to comment on the Bears won't see a Super Bowl no time soon kind of comment he made, but it's cool.
Was that him?
Yeah, that was him.
That was somebody else.
Was that him?
That was
somebody on Facebook, and I was like, I was very intrigued by that. I didn't feel like it deserved much of a response. So.
We didn't give it no play, no airplay. We was just talking fucking Roshan. Look, Wes, hold on. Before stop pulling me into this Roshan Johnson Herbert. I told y'all in the text, I'm wasting too much typing time talking about Khalil Herbert. Personally, I'm waste too much words on Khalil Herbert.
I just gave my points. I know it because it started off with who should be backing up, and I would pick Roshan. You asked me who I would like to see take another leap, and I picked Roshan, and you took that as I'm praising him. I'm saying that I want to see him take that leap next season and be a lot better. I want to see him do all that. So I think he's capable of doing all of that because I feel Herbert kind of was losing a step last season, and we need to get that RB2 kind of thing situated because we need at least 2 running backs. We can't just run with Swift constantly all the time and wear him down too much. And that's where it started. And it went into this. I love Roshan Johnson more than I love a Doomsday kind of story. And it's it was never that.
That's funny.
Never that.
Wes is right. You said you were comparing him to Tomlinson out of nowhere. Whoa, I never said that. I never even mentioned
you brought up LaDainian Tomlinson.
Never said LT.
I brought up LaDainian Tomlinson.
Oh,
I'm not saying. I said I'm not saying.
I knew I remembered somebody brought him up, and I'm like, ain't nobody said that.
And that's what I was saying. It's I'm not giving him this. He's LaDainian Tomlinson or like you even said Kamara or anything like this. I'm saying compared to Herbert, he's not that. I said that's what I said. You misheard what I said. I said I'm not saying he's that.
Yeah, Bearsky. I didn't even know Tomlin's LT was brought up in the conversation. I didn't say nothing about that.
Let me correct what I said. We could go back and read.
I
said I'm not saying he's LaDainian Tomlinson, some like great super RB1 versatile back. That's not the praise I'm giving him. That's what I said about LaDainian Tomlinson.
I did say Darren Sproles though. That's probably
right. And then you brought up Darren Sproles. So I'm like, we're not saying him Darren Sproles either. We're not saying he's this. Like, we're not saying neither one of them of these people. I was just saying, hey, if I had to pick my RB2, I think we should invest more in Johnson and give him more of it because I feel like Herbert was losing a step last season. Yes, he ran well in the Hall of Fame game. We'll see way more of this preseason and more preseason games. He's going to get a lot more touches, and so will Roschon get a lot more touches, and then we can gauge him at that point.
And like I said, I do, in my opinion, I think it showed. I think because Roschon took the first team snaps, first reps with Tyson Bagent, I think it shows that he's leading in the RB2. And even if it's not production wise, Ryan Poles, just like we talked with Vela, Ryan Poles drafted him. He did not draft Khalil Herbert. You know what I mean? I expect him to take care of his own more than outsiders. So look, I'm gonna hold you to it though. I'm gonna bring it up. Like I said, 1-0. 1-0. I should have created a graphic that said 1-0. It's 1-0.
Yeah, it's 1-0. That's fine. We'll see Saturday. We'll see Saturday.
And we go follow it. Yeah, exactly. We go follow it the entire preseason. It's gonna be fun. Hey, Bearsky, hit the line, man. Let me know. Let us know who when your show and what's your schedule for your show. Maybe one of us can jump on and be opinionated on your show as well. Show the love. Because you stuck with us this entire episode, so I fuck with that, and I haven't seen you in the chat before. But I think that does it. Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Time to dust the flour off the hands, man. Dinner served.
Pretty soon we gonna have live, like real full game footage to talk about and recap. And
can't wait.
Caleb Williams 3 interception game or 3 touchdown game. We're gonna be able to actually talk about that, so I can't wait. He said for sure, man. You guys are good stuff, man. You'll fit right in. Okay, for sure. He also said check my stuff out. I will, and I'm pretty sure my guys will as well.
Yeah.
Signing off. Y'all ready to sign off? Is that we covered it all? All right. Well, signing off. This is 3 the hard way. We is back, man. It felt good to be back with my boys Devin and my guy Chef Wes.
Oh no, do I gotta pay Caleb Williams some money?
Shit. The way his team working, you might have to. The way his lawyers that went into that negotiation was negotiating, you might have to. Look at Mama Blues. We go live every Saturday about 4:35, 3 the hard way. Y'all saw our new co-host Al. We would like y'all to welcome him with open arms every week. But it is game time, so we will have pre-game shows and post-game shows after every Chicago Bears game. Join us and let's have some fun and talk some shit and be honest and be opinionated and say what you mean and mean what you say. On the Black Bear Podcast. Any words y'all got?
Good to be back.
Good to be back, ain't it?
True.
All right, well, we gon' before we get up out of here, actually, I do want to do this one more time.
Say go DJ, cause that's my DJ. Say go DJ, cause that's my DJ.
Peace. We gone.